Transmigrating as the school boss. Every day I have to threaten the villainess into being my girlfriend just to stay alive. Who would have thought that from pretending to cling to her? I'd end up simping so hard that I even faked a terminal illness to trick her into loving me. The breaking point was when I discovered this entire world was just a massive scam by the system, so I decided to flip the table and go completely rogue. Every day I would drag Mangosteen into the alley to roam around, yet she never resisted, simply because, as the school bully, I forced her to be my girlfriend. She firmly refused, so I got people to beat her up every day, until she agreed. By the time I finished processing the original bully's memories, Sue Mangosteen had already been beaten for half an hour. The system suddenly alerted me, "Host, if you do not go save her now, the male lead will arrive shortly, and things will spiral out of control." It turned out that after dying from excessive use of tissues, I actually transmigrated into the school bully in a novel, so I quickly stepped in to stop my lackeys. Right. Stop hitting her. At this moment, Sue Mangosteen was covered in dirt and bruises, glaring at me with a gloomy expression. The system informed me that the villain's current affection level was a mere 90. It turned out the girl in front of me was the novel's ultimate villain. The moment her affection level for me hits 100, my death date will arrive. Ah, yes, the classic be nice or explode system dynamic, a literary masterpiece of our generation. I hurriedly crouched down, took out a tissue and wiped her delicate face, getting the dirt off. I told you guys not to hit the face. What is wrong with you all? Sue Mangosteen was not stupid. She knew I was being hypocritical. Thus, I heard the villain's affection drop to 91. This was truly dancing on the edge of a blade. I quickly ordered the lackeys around me to leave. Leaving it to me caused the villain's affection to drop to 92. The affection level kept dropping, making me panic. Could it be that right now? She was already preparing to strike. Clenching the tissue, I did not dare make a sound. I watched as Sue Mangosteen silently crawled up, grabbed her backpack that someone had kicked away, and limped outward. I took 2 quick steps to catch up. Sue Mangosteen stopped in her tracks. Her tone was full of disgust. "What else do you want?" I grabbed the corner of her shirt. The pitiful look on my face was genuine. I was truly terrified. Nothing says true romance like grabbing someone's shirt while silently fearing for your life. Sue Mangosteen, I know I was wrong.
"Get lost," Sue Mangosteen said as she walked.
I persistently chased in front of her. "Please, just give me a chance to make amends." What? Switching to a tender approach now, Xiao Rambutan, are not you sick to your stomach? If you really want to make amends, then disappear from my sight, preferably forever. The deep hatred in her eyes was unconcealed. I wanted to say something else, but saw several teenage boys in the distance, rushing over menacingly. One look, and I knew things were going south. The official male lead had logged on. "Xiao Rambutan, why are you bullying people again?" I naturally did not have much patience. "Mind your own business." Villain's affection level 95, I gritted my teeth. Hearing this prompt, I turned my head grimly, looking at the expressionless Sue Mangosteen. Yai Kiwano's face flushed bright red from my retort, afraid I might do something to Sue Mangosteen. He immediately positioned himself between us. The human shield trope, executed with all the grace of a confused traffic cop. "I do not know what happened between you two, but as long as I'm here, do not even think about hurting her again." Villain's affection level dropped to 97, 98, 99. Enough. This outburst was not just aimed at the annoying system, but also at the endlessly chattering Ye Kiwano. My first time challenging an S-rank mission, and I run into a ruthless character like Sue Mangosteen. Consider me unlucky. Worst case, the mission fails and I start from scratch. It is just getting chopped into 8 pieces by Sue Mangosteen a month from now, right? Thinking of this, I hardened my resolve, threw caution to the wind, grabbed Ye Kiwano and shoved him aside. I sneered, "Is it any of your business? I will bully her however I want. I'm gonna bully her for the rest of my life. You do not even go to the same school as us. Can you control who I mess with on campus? Anyone can talk big." Well, I'm saying that from now on, as long as I'm around, nobody is allowed to touch a single hair on Sue Mangosteen's head. As my words fell, Sue Mangosteen's affection level had plunged to rock bottom. Plotting a murder takes focus, and my chaotic energy is clearly ruining her vibe. I glanced at Sue Mangosteen, ignoring whatever she might be thinking, and dragged her away. "Yai!" Kiwano panted and blocked our path again. "Tell me, what will it take for you to let her go?" "Hey? I would love to let her go. But would the system let me off?" I said viciously. "In your dreams. Even if I die, I'm taking
her down with me."
I forcefully shoved Kiwano. He fell onto the road with a thud. Sue Mangosteen paused her steps, trying to pull her arm out of my grasp. I simply refused to let go, flashing a smile devoid of any warmth. I lowered my voice and threatened, "Do you like him?" Sue Mangosteen's body stiffened. "My dad's company works with his family, but a tiny company like theirs, my dad could crush them with a single finger. If you want to drag him down with you, you are more than welcome to refuse to come with me." The classic "my dad owns the universe" flex, truly the hallmark of a refined villain. In that moment, Su Mangosteen probably wished she could blow me up on the spot. Are we going after leaving Yakiwano's line of sight? I called my family's driver. Su Mangosteen clutched her backpack. Can I leave now? No, you really do not know what is good for you. You would not want others to suffer because of you, right? So you better obediently listen to me. Xiao Rambutan, how can you be so vicious? I am not close with Yi Kiwano, and I do not like him either. If you dare drag him into this, I raised an eyebrow. Then I will call my dad right now. I have disliked Yi Kiwano for a long time anyway. Seeing this, Su Mangosteen hurriedly grabbed my wrist as I was about to dial. Her whole body was trembling. What exactly do you want? What is so good about me? Why must you pester me? You like this face of mine, right? Su Mangosteen suddenly clawed at her own face like a madwoman. I rushed to stop her, but Su Mangosteen pushed me away. If I ruin it, will you let me go? I furrowed my brows. What if I say I like you as a person? Smooth save, bro. I'm sure she totally believes you're not a superficial psychopath. Are you going to commit suicide? Su Mangosteen stared at me for a long time before speaking. If that is what you want, I violently snatched her hand. Listen to me clearly. If you dare kill yourself after you die, I will go torture your mother. Su Mangosteen's biggest weakness was her mother. These words made her legs go weak. She almost knelt down. Stop messing around. I am begging you. The driver arrived with the car. My stomach was churning, but I maintained a cold expression, so no one could see through my thoughts. I shoved Su Mangosteen into the back seat, then squeezed in myself to Jiangcheng Hospital, and called my private doctor over. Su Mangosteen remained silent the entire ride. I rubbed my chin, feeling that what I just said was genuinely too malicious. But I had no choice. If the capture target dies, it would be deemed a failure of protection, and my autonomous consciousness would be instantly erased. I shuddered. System, am I dead meat? Yes. You are currently marinating in the consequences of your own terrible dialogue. I'm going to die either way. Might as well try harder with the month I have left. I do not want to try anymore. I just want to be a salted fish. Why do I have to bear the consequences of the original owner's mistakes? I handed her over to the private doctor and sat down on a bench myself. Looking at Su Mangosteen's tattered backpack, who knows how long this bag has been used? There are traces of stitching on the bottom. Honestly, Su Mangosteen's life is quite tragic. Her father abandoned his first wife for power and wealth and married a rich heiress. At that time, his first wife was already pregnant. She ended up all alone, struggling to raise Su Mangosteen. Once grown, they came to Jiangcheng to start a new life, only to run into an animal like me. A second later, my private doctor Liu came over, worried those punks had beaten her too severely. I had him do a comprehensive checkup on her. Seeing Liu's gloomy expression, I knew things were bad when the private doctor looks like he just watched a sad dog movie. You know the medical bill is going to be emotional. She has numerous old and new injuries, a previously broken rib, which does not look like it healed properly. Her overall health is poor. She is very weak. Whose child is this? Do they not even feed her enough? Do you know how bad her stomach is? I listened silently without uttering a word. What is the deal with her injuries? Is she your classmate? Thank you, doctor. Liu. Can I take her away now? I'm giving her an IV drip right now. It should be done in about an hour. Xiao Rambutan, I know your family's situation has had a heavy impact on you, but I hope you do not keep degrading yourself. The college entrance exams are coming up. Do your best. I understand. It was already getting dark outside when I walked in holding the plain porridge I bought. Su Mangosteen was half sitting on the hospital bed getting her IV drip. The cuts on her face and body had been treated. Gauze was taped to her forehead and the corner of her eye, making her look quite comical. I cautiously approached, sat beside her, and spoke. Look, I thought about it today. I was in the wrong. I truly realize my mistakes now. Ah, the classic. I'm sorry I had you beaten to a pulp apology. A foolproof redemption arc. My original intention was just to get you to look at me more, but I really could not justify the disgusting things the original owner did. I scratched my head in frustration. Forget it. I will give up on explaining. The doctor said your stomach is bad. Have some porridge. It is good for digestion. Su Mangosteen chuckled. Is this a slap followed by a sweet date? Do you think I will be grateful to you? I did not think that. Just pretend I suddenly grew a conscience. You have every right to hate me, so just keep hating me. Anyway, I have given up. Given up on what? Su Mangosteen did not show the slightest bit of mercy. Because of my little speech.
I won't let anyone hit you anymore.
I know you resent me, and I know you want me to disappear forever. But can we negotiate a bit? I sighed and asked another question. If you really intend to do something to me, when the time comes, could you use a slightly gentler method? A very reasonable request from a man who is actively courting his own assassin.
I am scared of pain.
The original book did not detail the process of my death, but just looking at the outcome, I know how gruesome it was. Su Mangosteen would derive sadistic pleasure from my body, leading her down a path of no return. This mission is just nonsensical. Su Mangosteen turned her head away. I do not understand what you are talking about. I scratched my hair. You do not understand. That is fine. Even though I knew Sue Mangosteen was pretending, I still had to play the part. In the end, Sue Mangosteen did not touch that bowl of porridge. Afraid the nurse would pull her IV, I stopped her from leaving. I followed behind her, watching her prepare to walk down the main road home. I paused and said, "Are you going to let me drop you off?" "No need. I can take the bus back." She rummaged through her pockets and pulled out 2 crumpled yuan bills. I wanted to say something else, but remembering the pride in Sue Mangosteen's bones, I kept my mouth shut. "I will head back with you." I insisted on staying by Sue Mangosteen's side. Actually, she had previously felt a tiny shred of affection for me. A shred of affection. She must have been heavily medicated that day. Thinking of this matter, Sue Mangosteen despised herself from the bottom of her heart. Back when she first transferred to this school, she did not have a uniform. The clothes she wore were washed until faded, emanating an aura of poverty from head to toe. No. 2. High school was the best middle school in Jiangcheng, naturally tainted with an air of elitism. She had nothing worth showing off. Transferring midway, she was placed in the worst class. Yet this class was also a gathering place for the ignorant and incompetent. Those people discussed her with mocking tones. Only I approached her with a beaming smile to strike up a conversation. At the time, she thought it was a smile of goodwill. Little did she know I had ulterior motives. Sue Mangosteen stared at me for a long time and said, "You want me to be your girlfriend? And then, what do you want to get from me?" The girl pressed me unexpectedly, the distance between us shortening. If she had a knife, she could easily slit my throat. I rubbed my nose and said with deep worry, "I do not want to get anything." Aside from her frail body and this decent-looking face, Sue Mangosteen truly had nothing. Sue Mangosteen gave a sarcastic laugh. "Then you just want to use me for your amusement. No need to fake these useless tricks. You want me to be your girlfriend? Fine, I will do it." Ah, yes, submitting to a relationship out of pure spite, the sturdy foundation of every healthy marriage. I thought I was hallucinating. Just then, the bus slowly pulled up in front of us. Sue Mangosteen stepped right on. I hesitated for a moment, uncertainly following her up and asked softly, "Sorry, what did you just say?" Although asking this breaks character a bit, I was desperate for an answer. Sue Mangosteen twitched the corner of her mouth. "You have already got me. I will do whatever you want me to do. Are you satisfied now?" Sue Mangosteen deliberately sat in a single seat at the front, with no empty seats nearby. I simply stood beside her. "System, is not this plot a bit off?" "Indeed. Does she have any affection for me?" "Villain's affection level is 100. Hearing this despairing answer, I furrowed my brows. Then what does she want to do? Checking the target's thoughts requires 100 points. All my points were spent unlocking the US rank mission. I am practically broke. Being destitute in a system novel is the true tragic backstory no one ever talks about. What does it feel like to date your enemy? I looked at Sue Mangosteen, limping towards the dilapidated apartment building. Feeling a sense of melancholy, Sue Mangosteen's single sentence utterly shifted away from the original main plot. This left me feeling somewhat lost, so I gritted my teeth and rushed forward fearlessly. "I am a dead man walking anyway, right? Did not you say you would rather die than be with me? Why the sudden change of heart?" Sue Mangosteen shot me a cold glare and kept walking forward without a word. I frantically tried to do damage control. "What I mean is," Sue Mangosteen suddenly shoved me, pinning me tightly against a streetlight pole. "What exactly do you want? You said you wanted me to be your girlfriend. I am now. What more do you want?" "Xiaorambutan, you truly disgust me to the core." I frowned, looking down at her, my expression turning somewhat pained. Sue Mangosteen never hid her disdain for me, but seeing this rare expression on my face, she suddenly seemed at a loss. Who knew looking mildly constipated was the key to throwing off a murderous villain? She abruptly released her grip, turned her head away. "I only have one wish left. I will compensate you." After saying that, I turned and left. The moment Sue Mangosteen got home, she tried to hide in her room. She did not want her overworked mother to worry about her again. But things did not go as planned. As soon as she walked in, she saw her mother holding cross-stitch work. Sitting under the dim light, her mother looked up. "Have you been fighting again?" Sue Mangosteen pressed her lips together and lowered her eyes. Her mother hastily inspected her injuries, feeling extremely heartbroken. But she did not dare promise anything, only whispering weakly, "What are we going to do? Tomorrow, Mom will go talk to your teacher. The college entrance exams are approaching. We can't go on like this." "No need. I can handle it myself." Her mother lowered her head, asking with difficulty, "Mangosteen, do you resent Mom?" "No, you're overthinking it. I'm going to do my test papers." Mother Sue sighed. "If you're hungry, there's food in the kitchen. Heat it up yourself. Mom is a bit busy." Sue Mangosteen paused her steps. In the end, she did not say anything. She did not rush to take out her homework. Instead, she opened her desk drawer and pulled out a knife. Nothing helps with calculus quite like aggressively sharpening a revenge blade. This knife symbolized humiliation and was the driving force pushing her to climb higher. Her mother was truly beautiful when she was young. Other kids would be envious that she had a pretty mom. That year, she was only in elementary school. She came home to see that thug forcing himself on her mother. She roared and cried, fighting and scratching desperately, finally kneeling on the ground to beg for mercy. The thug was very arrogant. Before closing the door, he tossed this knife to her. "Kid, you're not qualified yet. If you want to kill me, you have to use this." Sue Mangosteen carried this contradiction with a heavy heart, staring blankly at the knife before putting it in her backpack. She had had enough of this kind of life. At this moment, I was lying on my large bed. The perks of transmigrating as a rich kid were great. Even if my parents did not love me, at least I had endless money. While I was floating on cloud 9, a warning suddenly made me sit bolt upright. System query reveals the target's affection level has now broken through the lower limit. A critical item has come online when the system starts sounding like a frantic tech support guy announcing your impending doom. The original plot setting has begun to deviate. Host, please pay attention. I still understand a lot about plot missions, as long as it does not match the original world's storyline. The plot line will diverge from the systems. The implication was that a new storyline would occur. This plot point would heavily impact the predetermined life path of the capture target. Just a moment ago, I was thinking there was not a single turning point. And now the capture target was causing trouble. The system quickly pulled up an image showing only the appearance of the critical item. An unsealed dagger, tagged as Owen of the main items used to kill me. This thing had already appeared. It seemed my expiration date was being moved up. I scratched my head in annoyance. I felt it was strange when Sue Mangosteen suddenly agreed to be my girlfriend. It turned out she could not tolerate it anymore, lowering my guard so she could deliver a fatal blow. I spent the entire night frowning in distress, deciding to struggle a bit more by trying to please the villain. I purposely bought a breakfast portion for 2-0 screams, "Please do not stab me," quite like a complimentary side of hash browns. Senior year was very busy. We had to be at school by 6:30 for morning study. Sue Mangosteen was a good student. She felt bad for her poor mother and had not eaten breakfast in her 3 years of high school. I was prepared to take the warm and fuzzy route, treating a dead horse as if it were still alive. First off, I was a terrible student who had never attended morning study, so the moment I walked in, my classmates were somewhat in disbelief, but Sue Mangosteen did not even lift her head at the commotion, bent over her desk in the back row doing test papers. As I walked past Sue Mangosteen, I pulled out the breakfast and stuffed it into her desk, finally sitting down 3 rows away from her. Sue Mangosteen frowned and looked down. Glancing at the fragrant soy milk, she peeled a sticky note off the plastic bag. On it, scrawled in messy handwriting, were the words, "Girlfriends need to eat their breakfast properly." Expressionless, Sue Mangosteen threw the note into the trash pile. She originally was not hungry, but after smelling the aroma, her stomach would not stop grumbling. Starving own meal and eating the next for the past 2 years left Sue Mangosteen with cramping stomach pains. She looked up at me, who was laughing it up. With that group of delinquents, the duality of man, leaving cute notes for your assassin, then giggling with your goons. She lowered her head in resignation, as if afraid someone would see. She bit the straw and took a sip of the soy milk. It had peanuts and sugar in it.
Quite delicious.
How is it? System, did she eat it? Yes, she did. System, check affection level. Villain's affection level 100. Damn it, eating my food and still being so ruthless towards me. Forget it, system, I do not want to check it anymore. Just block this function for me. Affection or no affection? I will leave it to fate. Sue Mangosteen restrained herself and only ate own steamed bun, saving the other 2 and carefully hiding them in her drawer, planning to take them back for her mother to taste. At this moment, I suddenly grabbed my backpack and walked towards her. Sue Mangosteen's body went stiff as I pulled out the chair next to her and sat down, pulling out a pristine test paper and laying it on the desk. With a hopeful look in my eyes, "Girlfriend, can I copy your homework? Because asking your impending murderer for test answers is a top-tier survival strategy. Do not you normally never do your homework?" My eyes curved, and I said with a beaming smile, "So you actually pay attention to me. You're overthinking it," Sue Mangosteen said mockingly. "Who does not know that because you never do homework? Your credits have been deducted into the negatives. If it were not for your dad, you should have dropped out ages ago." The corner of my mouth twitched nonstop. "If you won't let me copy, then fine. Can't I just write it myself?" I faced the test paper with a serious expression, as if I truly intended to do the work myself. Sue Mangosteen was actually a bit surprised. It was not like he had not said similar things before. floor. Back then, I would grab her hair and arrogantly say, "So what if I do not study? I have a rich daddy who is like you, a pauper with nothing who can only study desperately." I stared at the math paper, filling in whatever answer looked pleasing to the eye. Whenever I did not understand, I just copied a random number into the blank. Others might take an hour to finish a paper. I drew a paper in 5 minutes. Sue Mangosteen furrowed her brows. Not a single question on that test paper was correct. I noticed her constantly stealing glances at me. I raised an eyebrow, feeling a little bit proud. How about it? My test-taking speed is pretty fast, right? Ah, yes, the lightning speed of writing pure gibberish. A true academic prodigy. Sigh, I do not think homework is all that difficult anyway. As soon as morning reading ended, I pulled out the identical breakfast I bought for Sue Mangosteen and spread it out on the desk. Sue Mangosteen had some difficulty looking away. Before long, she saw my hand holding a steamed bun right in front of her eyes. "I can't eat this anymore. Help me eat it." I did not even wait for her reaction and stuffed it straight into her mouth just as she was about to speak. I propped my chin up and watched Sue Mangosteen's stubborn face. If she was not a psychopath, this personality of hers would actually be quite fun to tease. Sue Mangosteen was rather gentle when eating. She was supposed to be a very good person, right? Xiao Rambutan, why are you here so early today? A girl wearing a loose school uniform walked up to me. Liu Jackfruit glanced at Sue Mangosteen, who had her head down, with a hint of dissatisfaction. "Why are you sitting here? Is not it dirty?" My heart skipped a beat. Nothing says high school drama like casually insulting the future serial killer sitting next to you. Crap! This remark did not elicit any reaction from Sue Mangosteen. I cautiously shot her a glance, while retorting verbally, "It is not dirty at all. Look, where is it dirty? I can just wipe it." Liu Jackfruit chuckled. "Come back early once you're tired of playing." Then she handed a milk tea to me. I added pudding for you. I subconsciously said thank you. Liu Jackfruit raised an eyebrow, somewhat surprised. "Is there something wrong with you?" "What? You are the Owen with something wrong. Cursing people out of nowhere." Liu Jackfruit did not argue with me either. "Come out and take my new motorcycle for a spin." I kept shaking my head and pushed Liu Jackfruit's test paper away. Lying against my conscience. I want to study hard with my girlfriend from now on. Did you take the wrong meds this morning? Liu Jackfruit's patience also snapped. Stop messing around. Hurry up. Once the teacher arrives, we won't be able to skip class. I'm really not messing around. I'm turning over a new leaf. After all, my girlfriend has good grades. I want to get into the same university as her.
Xiao Rambutan, quit joking around.
Girlfriend, she is just a plaything. The classic villain, lackey line, setting up her own inevitable doom with remarkable efficiency. As if she is worthy. Did not you just get people to corner her yesterday? Now you're playing the good guy today. Stop fooling around and let us go. Listening to her blabber on like this. My left eyelid twitched wildly. The corner of Sue Mangosteen's mouth had already curled into a mocking arc. I felt a massive headache coming on. She is not. I truly consider her my girlfriend. I'm serious. And I won't be hanging out with you guys anymore. Cornering her yesterday was my fault. I have changed. Do not go looking for trouble with her ever again. Hearing me speak so rigidly, Liu Jackfruit's eyes gradually darkened. Xiao Rambutan, are you for real? Others might not know, but do not. I know what kind of person you are. She turned to stare at Sue Mangosteen, reaching out to pat her face. What did you say to him?
I'm asking you a question.
Just because you ask, do I have to answer? Damn. Do you have a death wish? Liu Jackfruit grabbed her by the collar. The regular students around us instantly did not dare to breathe loudly. Ah, the classic bystander effect, where everyone suddenly becomes very interested in the ceiling tiles. Meanwhile, those who fought year-round had already started moving desks and chairs away, preparing for the brawl. The next moment, I slapped Liu Jackfruit's hand. Let go. Liu Jackfruit had never seen me like this, and knew I was genuinely angry. What the hell? You bragged to me every day about how you would trick Sue Mangosteen into being your lapdog, and now you're turning against me for this. I shielded Sue Mangosteen behind me. It has nothing to do with her. Everything is of my own free will. Liu Jackfruit's face darkened as she sneered, and viciously kicked a desk. I could not dodge in time and bumped my waist, inhaling a sharp breath of cold air. Liu Jackfruit did not go out to play either, taking a seat not far from us. Brother Fei, you really are quite strange today. The lackeys who used to tail behind me chimed in. You think so? I think my waist hurts like hell. Gritting my teeth, I told them to get lost. Only after those idiots left did I support my waist and sit down. I lifted my school uniform, only to find that the spot hit by the desk had already developed a red mark. That strike was way too ruthless. Was not it? Being a hero in a school romance novel comes with serious occupational hazards. Sue Mangosteen stared at my actions. Seeing this scene, her body stiffened slightly. My hand was still gently rubbing my side. Sue Mangosteen's expression was unreadable. You deserved it.
What?
I felt that if I let my true nature loose, I could really start a fight with Sue Mangosteen in minutes. Why do you care about these things? I widened my eyes. She would have hit you. It is not like I have not been hit by her before. She stared right at me while saying this. A layer of guilt-ridden red flushed across my face. Then I stubbornly said, I told you yesterday, you can only be bullied by me alone. Letting them hit you is unacceptable. Then, why did you need to fall out with them? I bit my lip. I did not like what they were saying. The things they said.
You have said plenty of equally awful things before.
Sue Mangosteen's words hit harder, one after another. The main issue was, I really could not refute these words. I muttered, I am different from them. I truly plan to turn over a new leaf. Liu Jackfruit was not wrong. You really should get your brain checked. How can you say that about me? I treat you a little better and you start getting cocky, villain logic. I bought you breakfast. Therefore, my past war crimes are forgiven. Sue Mangosteen turned to look at me. This is a bit more normal. You are the Owen who is sick. After cursing this out, I felt incredibly annoyed. Aside from this interlude, classes went by uneventfully. The teachers did not care where I sat, since I would not study no matter where I was. Seeing that I was not disturbing Sue Mangosteen beside me, the teacher did not pay much attention. I lay on the desk in boredom, dozing off from sleepiness. Suddenly, there was a commotion in the classroom. I looked up and rubbed my eyes. The school would periodically search students' backpacks. Especially in our class, they were extremely strict. Things like restricted knives, cell phones, novels, and other contraband. Being caught meant parents would be called. I actually did not care at all. Even if I handed my phone to the teacher, they would not dare take it, and I did not have any other stuff. When the search team teachers launched their surprise inspection, the classic random locker check, guaranteed to move the plot forward at breakneck speed. I automatically stood up and obediently waited for them to come. Turning my head, I noticed Sue Mangosteen had not moved. I patted her shoulder. Sue Mangosteen still did not move. I was a bit puzzled. Noticing her complexion was not looking good. The teacher had already reached the back row. I handed my backpack over. After flipping through it, the teacher went to grab Sue Mangosteen's bag. I put my books away and sat in my chair. Before my seat even got warm, I heard a sharp reprimand. What is this? Sue Mangosteen remained expressionless. A knife. Hearing the commotion, the homeroom teacher was just about to explain, but upon seeing the object did not dare say a word. Why did you bring this to school? What is your name? Asked. The teacher fired off a series of questions. I instantly understood. So this was the plot deviation point they mentioned. If it were us ignorant rich kids, it would be easier to smooth over. But the own caught was Sue Mangosteen. This meant expulsion. And thus, the school system proves it is far more efficient at removing threats than the actual system giving the mission. Sue Mangosteen resolutely refused to say why she brought it to school. The teacher also got angry, seeing that Sue Mangosteen only gave her identity, and was about to follow the teacher away. I propped my hands on the desk and stood up. Wait a minute. The search team teacher was stopped. Is there a problem? Yes. I glanced at Sue Mangosteen, who was either giving up the struggle or just terrified, and took a deep breath. She did not know there was a knife in the backpack. Sue Mangosteen suddenly looked up at me with complex eyes. I put this knife in there. The crowd let out a collective gasp. What do you mean? I had no other choice. If Sue Mangosteen left the school because of this, then the plot challenges I would face would be unknown. You come with her to the office. I walked side by side with Sue Mangosteen and lowered my voice. Later, no matter what the teacher asks, just say you did not know. Understand? Sue Mangosteen firmly replied. I put it in. I was almost mad enough to die. Trying to save someone who aggressively wants to self-destruct is truly a full-time job. Stop spouting nonsense. You will be expelled for this. Sue Mangosteen still refused to relent. I grabbed her uniform, just about to say something. The teacher noticed our little interaction and got angry. Do not pull any little tricks behind my back. Speak. What is going on? I was terrified Sue Mangosteen would answer, so I spoke over her. Just like I said in the classroom, I put it in there. The teacher did not buy it. Asking for the motive, I wanted to threaten her. He furrowed his brows. My notorious reputation was known throughout the school. He was a man with a strong sense of justice. Xiaorongbutan, you have got some nerve. Threatening a classmate. What were you trying to threaten her with? I was speechless for a moment, and said with a hint of shame, threatening her to be my girlfriend. He did not press Sue Mangosteen for further details. That child could not possibly do such a thing. The teacher told Sue Mangosteen to go back, then scolded me ruthlessly in the office, calling me societal scum, a degenerate with no sense of shame. Getting yelled at by a teacher while saving the villain? Peak protagonist behavior. My father was even called to the school. Without a word, he slapped me across the face. Half of my face instantly swelled up. Bullying classmates and daring to use a knife. Today, I bail you out of school. Tomorrow, will I have to bail you out of jail? Have I spoiled you too much? Making you this lawless. I swallowed a mouthful of blood. Spoiled me. You do not even care about me. How have you ever spoiled me? What kind of nonsense are you saying? I was furious. Stiffening my neck, I argued. Am I wrong? Nowadays, you spend every day revolving around that homewrecker who caused my mother's death to climb the ranks. Zhao Salak is just taking care of that cheap son of yours. Who knows if he is even your seed? How could you remember me? Spoil me. Tell me. How many times have you seen me in the past 2 years? Do you even know which class I'm in? My dad raised his hand to hit me again. Go ahead and hit me. Just beat me to death and send me to the underworld, so my mom can get a good look. Dropping the dead mom card is a flawless victory in any dramatic family argument. Seeing the battlefield escalating, the teacher quickly jumped in to calm things down and pushed me out the office door. I hung my head, tears falling patter, patter. Not out of sadness. It just hurt like a motherfucker. Suddenly, a shadow fell over me. I looked up slightly and realized Sue Mangosteen had not left. I quickly wiped my tears. Why have not you left yet? Why did you tell the teacher that? I had suffered grievances from my dad, but I was not going to back down facing Sue Mangosteen. You wanted to use this to get the teacher to expel you? I won't allow it. Do not even think about escaping from my side. Do not even dream about it. On Sue Mangosteen's delicate face, a faint, imperceptible smile appeared. I stared at her, zoning out for a moment. Her tone was clear as she slowly reached out her left hand. You cry? Really ugly? Right after that, during class, I discovered a major crisis. My bank cards had been frozen. Now, the money was gone too. I lay on the desk, my lips trembling, looking like I had suffered a monumental injustice. Ah, yes, the tragedy of the frozen bank account, a true rich kid's kryptonite. Sue Mangosteen looked confused for a moment. She even suspected she was the main culprit. I took the villa I was currently living in and listed it on a real estate website. At noon, the classmates all went to the cafeteria for a meal. I ignored Liu jackfruit. Although the money in my WeChat was enough to last a few days, I did not want to go eat all alone. So I followed eagerly behind Sue Mangosteen, like a stray dog. Sue Mangosteen was annoyed by me trailing her. Why are you following me? I want to eat with my girlfriend. Is that a crime too? She pressed her lips together. I am not eating, but I am hungry. Sue Mangosteen ignored me and went to the convenience store to buy a 2 yuan bread roll. Her mother would give her 10 yuan every day, but she wanted to save it. I was somewhat stunned, seeing she actually planned to eat this garbage. I swiftly pressed down on her hand and grabbed her wrist. Sue Mangosteen was a bit impatient. Xiao Rambutan, what are you doing? Eating. Saying that, I dragged her to eat malatang. Nothing sparks romance quite like forcefully dragging your future murderer to a spicy hot pot joint. But I absolutely never expected to run into someone at this shop. Yeah, Kiwano and Sue Mangosteen. You guys came here to eat too. Yai Kiwano glanced at the gauze on her face and furrowed his brows. Xiao Rambutan is really something. How could he do this? Are you feeling okay? Did he give you a hard time again last night? I was not far from Sue Mangosteen. Hearing this guy trashing me behind my back, I turned my head and drifted over like a ghost. What are you saying to my girlfriend behind my back? Caught red-handed, Ye Kiwano's face looked ugly. And calling her so affectionately, are you even that close to her? I angrily slammed a bowl of seaweed on the counter, grabbed Sue Mangosteen with own hand, paid, and left. We ignored him completely, yet Yi Kiwano chased after us. Xiao Rambutan, you have money and power. Why do you have to make life difficult for Sue Mangosteen? She is already pitiful enough. Can't you just let her go? Hearing this, I raised an eyebrow. I knew Sue Mangosteen hated it the most when people called her pitiful. I felt the thrill of a pleasant surprise hitting my head. Pitiful. I have never thought Sue Mangosteen was pitiful. Finally, a protagonist who uses common sense to farm affection points instead of being an idiot. As for making life difficult for her, you're overthinking it. We are in a proper, serious relationship. Is not that right? Then I slid my hand down her slender fingers, forcing her to interlock fingers with me. I snorted coldly, dragged her away, and found a good seat. While waiting for the food to be served, give me a piece of that bread to eat. Sue Mangosteen frowned. Why? I'm treating you to a meal. Should not you give me something in return? Look at how stingy you are. You won't even spare a bite of bread for me. Sue Mangosteen thought the old Xiao Rambutan was a moron. But looking at him today, he must be a massive moron. I did not say I wanted to eat your food. My tone was sarcastic. You are just unwilling to share your bread, are not you? Sue Mangosteen was truly helpless against me. When the villain realizes the true horror is not death, but dealing with an annoying extrovert, and tossed the bread directly to me, I broke it down the middle, half for each of us. The boss called out our order number. I glanced at the receipt and jogged over to get it. Sue Mangosteen's gaze never left me. She felt an ache in her teeth. The old me was very easy to see through. Just an arrogant, domineering thug who did not care if others lived or died. But the current me seemed to have opened a new path, as if radiating light from head to toe. I carried a bowl filled to the brim with malatang, wobbling as I placed it on the table. I did not rush to eat, but took a spoon and scooped some plain soup into a small bowl for Sue Mangosteen. Put the vegetables in here to to dip. It cools down faster when you dip it. The aroma of the soup was very strong, mixed with the scent of sesame paste. Seeing Sue Mangosteen not moving her chopsticks, I pushed some meatballs into Sue Mangosteen's bowl and stuffed the chopsticks into her hand. Eat. Courtesy demands reciprocity. Exchanging a dry bread roll for a premium bowl of meat, the art of the deal right here. I ate your bread. You should eat my food. Hurry up and grab the food yourself. We still have classes this afternoon after eating. The hand Sue Mangosteen used to hold the chopsticks was trembling. Xiaorambutan, you do not need to treat me this well. No matter how well you treat me, I will never like you. She wanted to see me flip out upon hearing these words, but I only froze for a second, curled my lips and smiled at her. It is okay. I will work harder. You said before you would not be my girlfriend, but are not you Owen now? Over 30 yuan for a massive bowl. Sue Mangosteen ate until she was extremely full. After eating, I wiped my mouth. We still have 30 minutes. Let us head back to school. Sue Mangosteen nodded heavily. As we passed by Yi Kiwano's table, he suddenly reached out and grabbed Sue Mangosteen. Before I could even blow my top, he let go. But I still could not hold back a glare. Flirting with my girlfriend right in front of me is not cool. Right? The audacity of the original male lead, completely unaware he is now just a side character. If looking from a reader's perspective, Yae Kiwano should be the light of righteousness. But to me, he was just an idiot. You're not going to end up with Sue Mangosteen anyway. What the hell are you chatting about? Yae Kiwano's face flushed from my scolding. What do you mean? What do I mean? I laughed out of anger, holding my girlfriend's hand right in front of me. And you think you're justified? Girlfriend who does not know you forced her. Hey, I'm really puzzled. Why does this guy keep bringing up all this nonsense? Making me look like a genuine villain. It was clearly Sue Mangosteen, who said herself that she wanted to be my girlfriend. Right. So I picked up a chair next to me and roared angrily. Are you tired of living? Yes. Nothing says I'm a good guy now. Quite like threatening someone with a piece of furniture. After Sue Mangosteen saw my stance, the previous surreal feeling finally began to fade, seeing that the shop owner was alarmed, and the students nearby were also casting glances our way. Sue Mangosteen grabbed onto me. With a soothing tone, let us not cause trouble. Okay? Hearing this, my body paused. I immediately put the chair aside, nodding repeatedly, I won't cause trouble. Let us go. Sue Mangosteen let go as soon as we exited the door. Following behind her, my heart was pounding out of my chest. Who could withstand this? Sue Mangosteen had always been sarcastic when talking to me before. Who knew she could be so intense when she was serious? Sue Mangosteen walked down the road with a complex expression. Just now, when Kiwano grabbed her hand, he slipped a small note to her. Good thing he did not let me see it. Otherwise, that shop would probably have suffered a disaster today. The fragile peace maintained entirely by the villain's sleight of hand. I slept through the entire afternoon, with my back to Sue Mangosteen. Occasionally, my snores would echo in the classroom, making Sue Mangosteen think of a little cat she raised when she was young. She felt she was losing her mind a bit. As it neared the time for school to end, I woke up groggily from my sleep, stretched lazily, and was caught red-handed by the physics teacher. Xiaorambutan, come explain this question. I stood up, stammering, staring at the literature book, drenched in my own drool. The physics teacher looked as if he already knew. If you can't explain it, then stay standing. I scratched my head and slumped my shoulders. Liu Jackfruit seemed to be very good at kicking people when they were down. She turned her head and let out a mocking laugh. Originally, I shared a desk with Liu Jackfruit, but to curry favor with Sue Mangosteen, I moved over here. Now, our relationship is shattered. Sacrificing your friendships to simp for a villain who wants to murder you. Peak strategic planning. I was completely isolated in the class. Yet Sukiwano still gave me the cold shoulder. I looked out the window. Sukiwano looked at me. I sighed. Lowering my eyes, I asked girlfriend, what are we eating for dinner tonight? I do not want to eat. I knew she was going to say that. I want to eat. You are my girlfriend.
You have to accompany me.
My bank cards had been suspended. My driver had been withdrawn. I had to take the bus by myself, and my house was about to be sold off. The classic suddenly impoverished rich kid trope. Welcome to the real world, buddy. After the real estate agent took a look, they contacted quite a few people who wanted to buy my house. If the paperwork went quickly, this would probably be my last happy day, living in that massive mansion. I was reluctant to let it go, but I refused to bow down to my dad. The villa was sold for $3 million, and the buyer was actually the Xiao family's mortal enemy. I signed the contract without a second thought. My dad would definitely buy the villa back. How could he possibly let people say that his own son was so broke he had to sell his house? With the money in hand, I rented an apartment right near Sukiwano, in the exact same building as Sukiwano, in fact. But I did not dare tell her, afraid that Owen misstep would cause my mission to fail. Every day, I discreetly brought Sukiwano breakfast and dragged her out for 3 meals a day, never skipping a beat. Sukiwano submitted meekly to my arrangements. She did not say anything, but her attitude had genuinely softened a bit. While eating small side dishes with her, I casually probed, "Which university are you planning to apply to?" Sukiwano would test into Jiangcheng University because she did not want to be too far from her mother. Sure enough, she honestly replied, "Jiangcheng University. What major are you going to study?" "Probably computer science." I gave a little shudder. That absolutely would not do, because the male and female leads were also applying for computer science. They would end up becoming classmates. The female lead's pseudo-intellectual grades would crush Sukiwano in seconds. Ah, yes, the plot-mandated rivalry. We can't have the Yandere getting overshadowed by the actual protagonist now, can we? This was also a key factor in her descent into darkness. "How about considering medicine?" I suggested nonchalantly. Sukiwano frowned. She hated being controlled by others, but I pretended not to notice. "Medicine is great. High employment rate, high salary. Plus, the skills are incredibly practical. They are needed everywhere. Most importantly, you would be saving lives and healing the wounded. It is a noble profession. Maybe it could even help her shed the villain title and transform her into a genuinely good person." "Not interested. I am full." She had figured it out long ago. My dragging her out to eat was merely out of pity for her. Sukiwano was grateful to me, but she knew this would all turn into a joke eventually. Sukiwano had already made up her mind. The moment I finally dropped the act, she would kill me without hesitation. Grateful, but still planning premeditated murder. The Yandere logic is truly flawless. Ever since she was a child, she felt she would end up becoming an executioner rather than a healer. "Instead of worrying about me, you should worry about your own grades. Thanks for the meal." Hearing Sukiwano's words, a light bulb went off in my head. I suddenly had a brilliant idea. "Right, my grades were terrible. How about this? I will treat you to meals, and you tutor me." Sukiwano gave me a serious look. "There is less than half a month left until the college entrance exam. It is useless." "How do you know it is useless if you do not try?"
I am very smart.
"The kind of smart that gets last place every time." I frowned and stopped talking. Sukiwano actually hesitated. Because of my expression, because during this period of me feeding her, her life had indeed become much more comfortable than before. Hearing that she had made a friend at school, her mother was also very happy. 2 hours during evening self-study. Then, the moment I saw her relent, a massive smile broke across my face. "You promised. No taking it back." Sukiwano felt an inexplicable sensation welling up inside her. She stared straight into my eyes, as if trying to gaze into my very soul. "You are different from before." My scalp instantly tingled with alarm.
Uh-oh, the perceptive villain strikes again.
Time to deploy the arrogant rich kid defense mechanism. But just a second later, I haughtily replied,
Of course I am.
"Who knows, maybe we won't see each other again after this. Might as well make up for things while I still have the time. Is it just to make your conscience feel better?" I did not know how to act anymore. Hanging my head, I looked incredibly aggrieved. "If that is what you want to think, I can't stop you. I am leaving." I felt a bit flustered. Shoveling down a hurried bite of food, I chased after her. During this period, I had not made up with my group of delinquent friends. Lu Rambutan was starting to lose her patience. Seeing me once again huddling close to Sukiwano, in tender affection. As she walked past me, she actually saw me studying. "Is it really necessary? Xiao Cheramoya, you really picked up a chick, and now you think you're a good student?" I raised my head expressionlessly. "None of your business." Liu Rambutan let out a mocking laugh. "I heard your dad kicked you out of the house. Is that right? How did it get so bad you even sold your house?" "None of your business." Liu Rambutan raised an eyebrow, looking at Sukiwano, then at me. "You spend money like water. Is the money from own house enough for you? Why do not you come grovel to me? I can put in a good word for you with my dad. It is far more promising than hanging around this destitute loser." Ah, the classic mean girl offering charity routine. Never gets old. I slammed my hand on the desk and stood up. Is she never going to stop? She barely had any screen time in the original book. Why does she have to act like this when I am here? Could not. She sees Sukiwano's dark expression. She was about to get angry. "I have things to do. I'm leaving." Sukiwano simply did not want to get involved in our mess. Liu Rambutan laughed. What could our great scholar possibly have to do? In a rush to go wash dishes or serve plates somewhere. "Liu Rambutan, do you have something you want to say to me? Let us take this outside." Liu Rambutan saw my anxious expression and found it incredibly irritating. I did not know what kind of magic compelled her. But we had not walked far when Sukiwano actually got up and followed us out. Under the streetlights, my face was flushed red with anger. "Are you sick in the head, Liu Rambutan? What does me studying with Sukiwano have to do with you? You are the ON who is sick." Liu Rambutan's tone instantly spiked. "I let it slide that you were messing around with someone else. But look at you. Did you actually move right into her building?" Stalker tendencies exposed by the mean girl. This is getting awkwardly realistic.
What does it matter to you?
Did your dad not tell you? My family has an arranged marriage with yours. I was instantly dumbfounded. My mind became a jumbled mess. I frantically questioned the system, but got no response. Do you know what you look like right now? You look like a rabid simp fawning over Sukiwano. Do not act like I do not know. You live downstairs from her. I watch you sneaking around like a thief every day, tailing right behind her. I honestly feel embarrassed for you. I was truly enraged by her. But before the curse word could even leave my mouth, my blood ran cold. Not far away, Sukiwano was staring at me darkly, with an indescribable expression on her face. Xiao Cherimoya, you really are something. I spent the entire night pondering where things went wrong, lying in bed, sighing and groaning. When I heard a noise outside my door, I jolted and sat up straight. I peeked through the peephole and my heart sank. In the dead of night, Sukiwano had come knocking. I nervously glanced around my apartment, grabbed a mop tightly, and opened the door.
Ah, yes, the tactical mop defense.
A classic weapon against midnight Yandere visits. Filling my vision was Sukiwano, that stunningly beautiful face. I was mesmerized for a moment. You really did move here. Her tone was thick with sarcasm. I ran out of money.
Rent here is cheap.
Ready for tutoring, Sukiwano squeezed past me into the apartment. The place was exceptionally shabby. I listened as she muttered to herself. We did not get a full 2 hours of tutoring during evening self-study today. Since you want to work hard, finish your homework first. I hesitated for a second. She really came to tutor me. Only then did Sukiwano realize that visiting a boy's house in the dead of night was somewhat inappropriate. Never mind. I came at a bad time. I will help you during tomorrow morning's self-study. I raised an eyebrow. I knew tutoring was just an excuse. She had only come to verify what Lu Rambutan had said. I can explain what happened today. No need to explain. I understand completely. I really was not stalking you. I just happened to rent the apartment below yours. No, I realized the more I explained, the messier it got. So I just gave up and threw caution to the wind. I just wanted to be closer to you. Xiao Cherimoya, Sukiwano's voice turned freezing cold. I just want to be close to you excuse did not work. Brace for impact. The next second, she forcefully pinned me down on the sofa. With lowered eyes and an ambiguous aura, she said, timing. This kind of thing makes me feel disgusted. Thank you for your kindness these past 2 days, but it won't be necessary anymore. I did not. I honestly had no idea about the arranged marriage. I like you. I want to be with you. A reason. If you claim to like me, you have to give me a reason. Is it because you think I have no power or influence? So, I'm just an easy toy to play with. After all, you have Lu Rambutan to cover for you anyway. I swallowed hard, unable to speak. I do not care what kind of tricks you are playing. Since you live here, you would better behave yourself. Do not provoke my mother. Or else, after dropping that threat, Sukiwano turned and left. Since the final veil had been torn away, I seemed to have grown much bolder. Bright and early, I stood downstairs with breakfast in hand. As soon as Sukiwano walked out, she saw me holding the food. What are you doing waiting for you? Since you have already found me out, can I go to school with you from now on? Sukiwano walked to the lower level and pushed out her beat-up bicycle. Without missing a beat, I hopped right onto the back rack of the bike. Let us go! Are not you being a bit too shameless? I did not do anything. Did not you say you were going to tutor me during morning self-study? Using tutoring as an excuse to hitch a ride on a rusty bike? The dedication is real. Hurry up if you delay any longer. Everyone will see you giving me a ride to school. The moment Sukiwano got onto the bike, I wrapped my arms around her waist. I could feel the teenager's slender frame. A faint itch circled around her waist. Sukiwano's face grew a bit hot, even though she did not quite understand why she was reacting this way. When we arrived at school, she dumped me at a hidden corner where no one could see. I am going to park. You go wait for me in the classroom. I curled my lip. I had no idea what she was trying to hide. In the whole school, who did not know what kind of relationship we had. Okay, remember to eat your breakfast. I am heading in. Sukiwano spaced out for a second, pursed her lips, and gave a stiff nod. I let out a sigh. The deadline was getting closer and closer. I could not figure out if Sukiwano was genuinely treating me well. System, help me check Sukiwano's affection level. Villain's affection level 70. I stopped in my tracks, feeling both shocked and defeated. Even though my efforts had some effect, it was not nearly enough. Just do not turn off this feature anymore. Okay. I stood at the school gate. A moment later, I saw Sukiwano walking over, pushing her bike. Upon seeing me, her eyes narrowed. Villain's affection level 71. The smile on my face instantly morphed into a grimace. Ah, the classic doing absolutely nothing and still losing points scenario. Story of my life. What kind of hypersensitive psycho is she? You look terrible. Are you not feeling well? I was just thinking that we probably won't have much time together. Time left. I did not want to be separated from you for so long. Villain's affection level 72. Never mind, I'm leaving right now. Just as I turned to leave, I heard Sukiwano's cold voice ring out. Since you want to stay with me, let us go together. Villain's affection level 70. I immediately regretted it. Ever since I turned the notification sound back on, my mood was on an absolute roller coaster. I had absolutely no idea what was going on inside her head. It was the first time the class saw us walk in together. The gasps and whispers were endless. Oh ho, what is going on here? Has our great school beauty Sue finally surrendered? What nonsense are you spouting? I was terrified that because of this single remark, Sukiwano's affection level would drop again, but after waiting a while, I heard no system prompt. And Sukiwano did not show any reaction either, tentatively to fit my character. I threw out, "What beauty Sue? You address her as sister-in-law, bold strategy, Cotton? Let us see if calling her sister-in-law pays off." Many people in the class burst out laughing. Then I heard a ding in my mind. I knew things had gone south. Villain's affection level 68. I looked at her in astonishment. Sukiwano pulled a test paper out of her bag. "Did you finish your homework last night?" The words I wanted to say caught in my throat. I saw her brows furrow. "You never intended to actually study, did you?" "I did write it. I wrote it very seriously. Let me see." I hastily pulled out the test paper. This was something I had racked my brains over last night, using my phone to look up answers. "You actually did this?" Sukiwano looked somewhat surprised. Aside from my chicken scratch handwriting, the accuracy of the paper was quite high. "I told you I was not stupid." I watched as she pulled out a slightly worn notebook. "These are notes I have organized before. If there is anything you do not understand, you can ask me." I solemnly opened the notebook. "Your handwriting is so beautiful." "No, it is just that your handwriting is too ugly." My mouth twitched. She had certainly grown a lot bolder. If it were not for the 68 affection score, in the eyes of any outsider, we would look exactly like an intimately close couple. Should I buy a copybook to practice my handwriting? You definitely should. Otherwise, your penmanship score will be a disaster. Forget it. Even if you fail the exam, your family will just send you to a very good school anyway. No, they won't. You do not know. The tragic backstory dump protocol initiated. Time to milk those sympathy points. I took a deep breath. I did not want to play the pity card either, but I had to bridge the class gap between us. My dad cheated on my mom a long time ago. I have a half-brother. He is 3 months younger than me. They abandoned me a long time ago. My eyes filled with a bleak sadness. A few months after my mom died, my dad brought my stepmom and brother into the house. They are a happy family of 3. There is no place for me there. I hate rich people too. I listened to the affection meter pinging upwards and continued. My past rebelliousness was just an attempt to make my dad pay a little more attention to me, but it did not work. He just hated me more and more. I do not want to try and please him either. After all, he is the reason I lost my mom. I forced my eyes to turn red. A tear hung precariously from the corner of my eye. Sukiwano's heart trembled. Villain's affection level 61. Every single word I said had struck a chord deep within Sukiwano's heart. Yet she simply uttered a faint, "You deserve it." Sukiwano was truly a master of stubborn mouths. She obviously felt bad for me, yet she still had to insult me, just as I thought this cold-hearted girl was going to maintain her icy exterior. She spoke up. "It does not really matter. People should live for themselves. There is no need to seek the favor of others. Your father does not deserve it anyway." Her words filled me with joy. "Read your book." Sukiwano turned back and dove into the ocean of knowledge. But after not hearing the sound of me turning pages for a while, she turned around to find me fast asleep with my eyes closed. Classic. Drops a traumatic backstory, earns sympathy points, immediately falls asleep. Flawless execution. She felt a twinge of regret. She could feel that her hatred for me was slowly dissipating bit by bit. She tried to recall the things I had done before, but it was utterly useless. She felt that I was just like her, missing love in our lives, which made us act bizarre in the eyes of others. I told you to read the book, not to sleep. I was not sleeping. I really was not. My head drooped instantly. Bitterly propping up my forehead, I sighed deeply. And Sukiwano, in a place no one could notice, let the corners of her mouth curl up slightly. I was woken up time and time again, until the long break between classes, when I just sprawled on the desk and slept like the dead. I had absolutely no idea that during this time, Sukiwano was called out by Liu Rambutan. Only when the bell rang for class did I notice she was gone. Liu Rambutan wore an arrogant smirk, flashing a provocative smile my way. It was impossible for Sukiwano to be late. I stared at my watch in agitation. 10 minutes had passed. Sukiwano still had not returned. I caught a few words from a group of people laughing not too far away. I heard Sukiwano. I heard rooftop. Ah, the school rooftop, where all major high school anime conflicts must inevitably be resolved. And I heard stupid to death. In that instant, a nerve snapped in my brain. I was completely furious. The villain I had been so carefully protecting. How dared these people mess with her? I swallowed hard and stood up. "Teacher, I need to use the restroom. The language arts teacher had given up on me long ago. Giving a nod, they dismissed me. The moment I stepped out, I sprinted towards the rooftop. I took a deep breath, and with trembling hands pushed the door open. Entering my sight was a dust-covered Sukiwano. Her uniform was torn. There were scratch marks on her face. Hearing the door open, she turned her head, looking a bit confused. Sukiwano tugged at her somewhat tattered uniform. Her back was covered in whip marks. Each own was a shocking sight. Did they tell you? Sukiwano's voice was slightly hoarse. I overheard them shout Cheramoya. You really are a curse. The moment those words left her mouth, I heard the system prompt, Villain's affection level 100. And we are back to 0, or rather negative 100. The roller coaster never stops. It felt like all my efforts had been in vain. I felt incredibly wronged. I'm sorry. I am truly sorry. Sukiwano slowly walked up to me. If you truly like me, stay far away from me. Okay. When I returned to the classroom, I did not see Sukiwano. Lu Rambutan smirked, staring at me. At that moment, I finally could not suppress my boiling rage. I charged over, and right in front of the entire class, delivered a massive slap to Lu Rambutan's face. She clearly had not expected me to do that. The language arts teacher looked utterly bewildered. Xiao Cheramoya, what are you doing?
Liu Rambutan, you really opened my eyes today.
If you have a problem, come at me.
Why did you have to go after Sukiwano?
Seeing me gripping Lu Rambutan's collar, the language teacher yelled angrily, Xiao Cheramoya. If you do not want to attend class, then get the hell out and go home. What kind of scene are you causing during class?
Go home, then go home.
The damage was already done. I did not want to try and salvage anything anymore. Given Sukiwano's personality, she probably hated me to the core by now. As I walked all the way back, I suddenly felt a profound sadness. The realization sets in. You tried to play the hero, but you're still stuck in the villain's shoes. I could not even remember why I was executing this mission. The system does not allow mission executors to bring their real-world thoughts with them. The moment I transmigrated, my memories regarding reality had vanished. Just as I arrived downstairs, I spotted Sukiwano. Our eyes met. Sukiwano coldly turned her head away. Without a word, I'm sorry. I stood frozen in place. As we brushed past each other, I said, go to school. I can guarantee they won't bully you anymore for all the harm and trouble I caused you before. I sincerely apologize. I know it is useless, but I still had to say it. I swallowed hard, turned my head, and gave a small smile. Actually, forget it. The words I wanted to say came to an abrupt halt. I rubbed my head and took large strides upstairs. Sukiwano felt a bit lost. It was supposed to be school hours right now. How did I manage to sneak out? But the moment the thought appeared, the answer was already obvious. Did not. I skipped class every single day before. It was nothing new. Sukiwano let out a cold sneer. I slept like the dead in my apartment. When suddenly the door was pounded so hard it sounded like thunder. I hesitated for a moment before going to open the door, only to see my dad and the mistress, Zhao Durian. Instantly, my eyes turned completely cold. Xiao Cheramoya, you have really got some nerve. Beside him, Zhao Durian put on a hypocritical act. Xiao Fei is still just a child. The classic he is just a child defense, immediately followed by the most toxic parenting imaginable. Do not stoop to a child's level. A child. My dad's eyes looked as if they wanted to bore a hole right through me. This child actually sold the villa his mother left him, not learning anything good at such a young age. Fighting and brawling was not enough. Now he has followed some wild woman to a place like this. I heard you declared at school that you're dropping out, is that right?
Very well.
If you won't go to school, then do not. You were never cut out for it anyway. I think that kid from the Liu family is quite decent. Pack your things and prepare to be alive and son-in-law. What are you talking about? What is wrong? That is about all you are good for anyway. I have heard everything from the Yuio family's kid. He is very decent. He does not mind the things you have done in the past. Once the college entrance exam is over, I will arrange for both of you to go study abroad in America. I clenched my fists, not saying a single word. Honestly, arguing was pointless, because I absolutely would not survive past the college entrance exam anyway. But of all the things he could have said, he absolutely should not have said this. My dad stated, if you were even half as good as your mother, I would not be this disappointed in you.
Wow. Weaponizing the dead mother.
Father of the Year award goes to this guy. I looked at Zhao Durian standing beside him. You have the audacity to mention my mother to me. All the grievances I felt could no longer be hidden at this moment. Trembling all over, I pointed at the woman behind him. My mom was formidable, sure, but she still could not defeat you two adulterous scumbags who ruined her life. My dad landed a heavy slap across my face. Xiao Fei, Your mother died of illness. If I hear you spew such nonsense again, do not blame me for being ruthless. Illness. I honestly suspected whether this man had repeated this lie so often that he had even managed to deceive himself. My mom was driven to death by you two. You went after my mom's money, played with her feelings, secretly fooled around with a mistress, and even used my mom's money to raise that bastard child. My mom did not die of illness. She jumped off a building and killed herself because you drove her to it. Shao Sharamoya, are you asking for a death wish? My teeth were chattering uncontrollably. He was completely enraged, grabbing me by the collar. What are you doing? Right at this moment, Sukiwano's frigid voice rang out. She stood at the doorway, her eyes devoid of the slightest warmth. The Yandere arrives right on time to witness the tragic backstory unfolding. Perfect plot timing. There are many elderly people in this building taking their afternoon naps right now. After Sukiwano delivered that line, she turned to leave without looking back. Furthermore, he is still a minor and is protected by the law. If you have something to say, speak properly. Do not get physical. Or be careful someone reports you and you end up drinking tea at the police station. Beside him, Zhao Durian started her hypocritical act again. Forget it, forget it. Xiao Fei is still a child. Do not hold it against him. He glared at me. I do not care what you think. If you still want to acknowledge me as your father, then you would better start behaving. With that final remark, they left. I stood at the door and took a deep breath, tugging helplessly at the corner of my mouth. If it were not for having to follow the original plot's trajectory to avoid any unnecessary disruptions, I would not have even bothered engaging with that baffling couple. I touched my face. It genuinely hurt. I let out a bitter smile just as I was about to close the door. I noticed Sukiwano was still standing there. "You're dropping out of school." Sukiwano stood 3 steps away from me. Her gaze was dark and unreadable, as if trying to figure out what I was thinking. I nodded. "So you can go to school with peace of mind. Not having to see me at school should make you very happy, right? It is just because of this I do not want to see Lu Rambutan. If there is nothing else, I'm going back to rest," I said, moving to close the apartment door. Her brows were tightly knitted as if she wanted to say something. After a long pause, her voice softened a fraction. "Does your dad always force you like this? What is wrong? Does it hurt?" Ah, the classic gentle concern after witnessing abuse trope. Hook, line, and sinker. I touched my own face and shook my head. "I'm not going to school either."
What?
Sukiwano's statement utterly shocked me. It is the review period anyway. The teachers have already covered everything they need to. Staying at home to review is fine too. Sukiwano pressed her lips together, looking at me with a complex expression. "I can help tutor you while I'm at it. If your dad abandons you, with your current grades, it would be very hard for you to get into a university. Do not overthink it. I can see you genuinely intend to turn over a new leaf. If I just leave you alone like this, I fear, who knows what you might end up devolving into." The direction of this plot had genuinely exceeded my expectations. "Are you serious?" Suddenly, a spark of inspiration flashed through my mind. The system had not notified me of an increase in affection, but Sukiwano's attitude was clearly melting. Yet she turned cold at my questioning tone. "Forget it. Pretend I did not say anything." "How can we do that?" I grabbed her arm tightly. "Tutoring is great. Let us start tutoring right now. Wait here. I will go grab my textbooks." System, how exactly do you guys define this affection score? The villain's internal disgust level. Look at her. Does Sukiwano look like she is disgusted by me? Have you forgotten, host, in the original book, Sukiwano also treated the original owner well. Oh, right, the classic fattening the pig before slaughter tactic. Good luck, buddy. Hearing this, my scalp went numb. Sukiwano had already come downstairs. She looked a bit surprised when she saw me. "Why are you still standing here, waiting for you?" Honestly, there were many moments where I could genuinely forget the fact that I was destined to die at Sukiwano's hands, like right now, as she sat beside me, guiding my studies. It felt as if she was truly plotting out a future for me. "You are clearly very smart. I never said I was stupid. I have a part-time job to get to. Read the book on your own for a while. I'm heading out." I indeed did not pester her any further. The moment she left, I tossed my pen aside, propped my chin up, and asked the system, "I keep feeling like she does not actually want to kill me. In the original plot, are there any major twists happening around this time?" In the book, the original owner's younger brother once approached Sukiwano. Additionally, she is also scheduled to meet the book's male lead 3 times, which will increase her affection for the male lead. When does this happen? Probably within these next few days. I shot up from my seat. There were not many days left in this half-month anyway. Even if I could not farm enough affection points for myself, I absolutely could not let Sukiwano stray further down the path of falling for the male lead and turning dark, getting further and further away. A female supporting character. Falling for the male lead never ends well. Ah, the self-awareness of an isekai protagonist trying to rewrite the tragic side character's fate. Classic. I never expected that after Lua Rambutan called me a stalker, I would actually turn into a stalker. Sukiwano worked at a coffee shop. I was not stupid enough to go straight into the store. So I deliberately staked out the milk tea shop directly across the street, ordering one cup of milk tea a day. I would sit there until Sukiwano got off work, and then secretly tail her back home. Within a few days, I had become familiar with the milk tea shop staff. Someone even teased me, "If you like someone, you should be bold and go after her. You are so handsome. She will definitely be moved." It was time for Sukiwano to get off work again. I immediately scrambled to follow her, always maintaining a distance of exactly 10 paces. I had it all figured out. If I got caught, I would just say I was out to grab a milk tea, and it had absolutely nothing to do with Sukiwano. Sukiwano strolled leisurely, a faint smile playing on her lips. Spotting an alleyway, she slipped inside when no one was looking. I had just been looking down while following her. When I looked up, she was gone. I frantically hurried forward a few steps, looking around everywhere. Where did she go? Hey, did you finish the practice tests I assigned you? I whipped my head around, only to see Sukiwano leaning against the wall of the alley, carrying a nonchalant air. "Why are you stalking me every day?" That single sentence from Sukiwano completely knocked the wind out of my sails. Before the lie could even leave my mouth, I was busted. How did you find out? Who stalks someone by gluing themselves to their targets behind every single day? With their head hung low, not even bothering to hide in the slightest. The stealth zero stalker build. Highly ineffective, but great for comedic relief. Do you take me for a blind person or an idiot? I was not. I was just worried. Worried about what? You are very pretty. What if you get targeted by other men? She took 2 steps toward me and suddenly pinned me against the wall. I caught a whiff of a faint, refreshing fragrance. Looking down, I met her glistening, watery eyes. "You like me this much?" Refusing to leave my side for even a step. "Then I have an even better idea. Oh, and that will ensure you can never leave me. Do you want to try it?" I hesitated for a moment. Smiling, I thought, Sukiwano hates me, but this hatred seemed to be subtly transforming her. She slowly leaned in close, her lips brushing against the corner of my mouth, her voice inexplicably gentle. "Do not move." Warning: Yandere romance protocol initiated. Extreme caution advised. My heart was trembling, because in that very second I heard it. I heard the affection meter jumping wildly. Affection level 50. Sukiwano herself did not know what came over her. She wanted to kiss me. It was just a momentary impulsive urge. In that instant she felt an unprecedented panic. No one had ever been able to shake her mental state like this, and it had only been half a month. When Yisalak came out to buy stationery, he saw Sukiwano standing alone, her face flushed bright red. She was truly beautiful. Kiwano. Sukiwano stopped in her tracks. Turning around, she met Yisalak's delighted expression. He was always so confident and radiant. It made Sukiwano envious. "Are you just getting off your shift? The college entrance exam is right around the corner, and you're still working so hard. By the way, has Xiao Cherimoya been bothering you lately? Do you need something? Last time I gave you my contact info. I noticed you never added me." Sukiwano furrowed her brows and pressed her lips together. Although some things sounded harsh when said aloud, they were the truth. I do not have a cell phone, so I do not have those apps either. "I'm sorry." Yai Salak's expression froze. I'm sorry. The rich kid realizes not everyone has a smartphone. A truly shocking revelation for the male lead. "I did not consider your situation. Have you decided which university you want to apply to?"
Jiangcheng University.
"Really? I'm planning to apply for Jiangcheng's computer science program too." Sukiwano raised her eyes and gave him a glance. His enthusiasm caught her off guard. Before she could say a word, she suddenly spotted the boy standing behind Yi Salak. For a brief second, Sukiwano felt a twinge of guilt. "If we both end up at Jiangcheng University, we can become great friends, right? I think we get along really well." Get along really well. My voice seeped through clenched teeth. "You are awfully versatile, are not you? You just get along with everyone. I told you last time, stay far away from my girlfriend. Why won't you listen?" A flash of embarrassment crossed his face. "How is this any of your business? Have some shame, will you? Sukiwano is my girlfriend. That is just what you think." I instantly blew my top. Just as I was about to charge forward and teach him a lesson, a cold, clear voice rang out. "He is not just thinking it. I am indeed his girlfriend." Plot twist, the Yandere claims her victim in front of the male lead. The drama is exquisite. "Let us go, time to head home." Sukiwano waved her hand at me and walked away on her own, leaving the two of us standing there with completely dumbfounded expressions. Coming, I happily bounded over to her side, offering the milk tea I had already half finished. "Do you want a sip? It is really sweet." Sukiwano paused, her gaze fixed, staring intently at the flattened straw I had chewed on. If you won't drink it, I will. I did not feel the least bit awkward, humming a little tune as we walked. Sometimes Sukiwano genuinely wondered if she was just overthinking things. Xiao Cheramoya honestly looked incredibly stupid and so easily satisfied. As long as she gave me just a tiny bit of attention, my eyes would fill with what looked like shattered stars. Gazing brightly at her, it was oddly heart-stirring. I babbled about all sorts of things to Sukiwano on the way back. Like, for instance, seeing a really naughty kid at the milk tea shop, or spotting some couple being overly affectionate. If you put this much energy into studying, you would definitely score well.
But what if I can't go to school?
I suddenly became serious. Sukiwano looked a bit confused. What do you mean? I mean, what if my life turns out to be very short? Have you ever heard the saying, "A scourge lasts 1,000 years"? Ah, the classic "bad people live longer" reassurance. Oddly comforting coming from your potential murderer. You are worse than a scourge. There is no way you will have a short life. My heart skipped a beat, joy spreading across my face. She did not sound like someone who harbored murderous intent toward me at all. This made me incredibly happy. Then you have to live a long, long life too. Boring. Just as I was discussing the continuation of life with Sukiwano, I did not expect us to be spotted by Mother Sue, who had just come out to buy groceries. Sukiwano startled instantly and silently turned her head away. She irritably dodged my hand.
What is wrong with you?
I'm serious. I'm going to study hard and go to Jiangcheng University with you. When the time comes, let us both study medicine. Okay? Why are you so insistent that I study medicine? Now, she was genuinely puzzled. I stammered and stuttered for a long time. I just think medicine suits you perfectly. Wearing that pristine white uniform, you would look incredibly charming. As if eager to prove the truth of my words, I added, I mean it, superficial.
I'm going ahead.
Sukiwano pretended that we were just casual acquaintances, exchanged a few more words, then naturally walked over to help her mother carry the groceries. You are off work early today. That boy, is he a classmate? Does he live here too? I have not heard you mention him before. Mother Sue observed. That boy does not look like he comes from a poor background. Mother Sue has a keen eye, spotting the disguised rich kid in seconds. He is handsome and carries himself well. He just moved in. Do you like him? We are just classmates. Mother Sue was very curious about this boy. She did not expect to run into him again the very next day. I was awkwardly carrying breakfast up the stairs. Are you Kiwano's classmate? I felt a bit nervous. Yes. Why are not you at school either? I made a bit of a mistake at school. Auntie, I wanted to ask, is Sukiwano home? Yes, she is. Mother Sue figured this boy probably liked Sukiwano. Can I go ask her to help tutor me? I won't let her help for free. My grades are bad, but hers are great. Go right ahead. Classmates should not worry about free help or anything like that. Our Kiwano has never really had any friends. Just knowing she has someone to talk to makes me very happy. Hurry up and go find her. After saying this, Mother Sue paused and added, actually, our Kiwano is a very good child.
I know.
Kiwano is not just good, she is outstanding. Thank you, Auntie. I will go find her now. Hearing the doorbell, Sukiwano's first thought was that her mother had forgotten something. When she opened the door and saw me, she was momentarily stunned. Why are you here? I brought you some food. She furrowed her brows, but still instinctively took it. Truthfully, she had already eaten. There were still unwashed dishes on the table. She subconsciously blocked my line of sight. Seeing me craning my neck to peek inside, I flashed a goofy, silly smile. I just ran into your mom. Sukiwano's gaze darkened. Did you say something to her? The Yandere Ray's paranoia flares up. Keep the mother safe at all costs. No, I did not. I shook my head, playing dumb. I still remembered how, in a fit of rage back then, I had threatened to take my anger out on her mother. I just told Auntie I was coming to you for tutoring. Auntie was actually really happy and told me to come over often. Is there nothing else? It is just that I have a lot of questions from yesterday that I do not quite understand. I will go over and take a look in a bit. It is not very convenient to let you inside right now. Sukiwano glanced at the breakfast in her hand. Only later did she realize that this breakfast shop was over by the park, which was quite far from here. Not even her own mother had ever taken care of her to this extent. After Sukiwano finished grading my test paper, I leaned in and saw the page covered in red check marks. I smiled. Did I improve again? There is only ON week left until the college entrance exam. For the next 2 days, focus on reviewing the key points I compiled for you. You are indeed very smart, but you have missed out on far too much of the previous curriculum. With these grades, will I be able to get into Jiangcheng University with you? I do not care about that. If the system wanted me to successfully complete the mission, it would definitely feed me the correct answers. Ah, the ultimate isekai cheat code, relying on the system to pass the college entrance exams. Perhaps she suddenly felt that fate was quite a trickster, a completely useless slacker like Xiao Cheramoya. Now that he actually started studying, could somehow cram enough to match others who studied bitterly for 2 or 3 years. Plus, he was handsome and rich. A boy like this, no matter where he went, would not seem to lack admirers. Yet, why was he so dead set on pestering her? Aside from this face, she had absolutely nothing. He constantly claimed he was just after her looks. But in reality, those wealthy girls were far more refined than she was, and they all knew how to dress up and look pretty. Sukiwano absolutely despised this feeling, unable to figure it out, yet desperate to try. That is good then. I cupped my face and smiled brightly. I want to be with you for the rest of my life. Sukiwano's heart trembled at that phrase, rest of my life. She slowly lowered her head. Today, unusually, she did not open her mouth to mock me. Instead, she muttered softly, "Stop saying things like that. I'm serious. Truer than pure gold. Besides, you like me too, right?" I felt like I was testing the waters on the edge of danger, but I did not panic in the slightest. Sukiwano lacked love. The ultimate reason behind many psychopaths' behavior is a severe lack of love. A bold psychological analysis from a guy whose survival plan relies on cheating on a test. Except for the purebred psychopaths, of course. Did not you admit to Yi Salak earlier that I'm your girlfriend?
I was right. Was not I?
From morning till night, I really have no idea what goes on in that head of yours. I already told you I won't like you. I am merely repaying a debt of gratitude. You treat me well, so I treat you well. Then if I like you, should not you like me even more? The corners of my mouth curled up. Now, that is what I call repaying a debt of gratitude. I have a part-time shift to get to. I am leaving. Sukiwano left in quite a hurry. She did not even pack up her own exercise books, fleeing in a complete panic. I clutched my stomach on the sofa, laughing uncontrollably, laughing until tears streamed down my face. During this time, I heard the affection level climbing rapidly upwards. It paused at +35, then suddenly plummeted to 99. I was already used to the system, glitching out during an S-rank mission. It sort of made sense, I guess, because my system assistant once told me that it had never actually managed an S-rank mission before. Sukiwano was in a daze the entire day. The coffee shop owner asked her if she had gotten into a fight with her boyfriend. Sukiwano froze, the tips of her ears turning red.
What boyfriend?
That boy who hides in the milk tea shop across the street every day. Waiting for you. I saw you two leave together yesterday. Is not he your boyfriend? Sukiwano glanced at the milk tea shop across the street. Behind the glass window, the boy's familiar figure was not there. She felt an abrupt emptiness in her heart, as if she had lost something vital. The Yandere realizes she misses her stalker. A match made in twisted heaven. This feeling came swiftly and felt entirely foreign. No, he is not. Sukiwano tried to shake all these thoughts out of her head, but things rarely go as planned. The very first customer Sukiwano served that morning was decked out in designer brands from head to toe, wearing an arrogant expression. Just looking at him, Sukiwano could tell he was looking for trouble. "I am Sukiwano. How may I help you today?" "So it is you." The fat in that man's eyes has already leaked out.
Oh, what a beautifully gruesome way to say someone has a greasy, lecherous stare.
10/10 imagery. First time we have met. I am Xiao Cherimoya's younger brother, Xiao Durian. The purpose of my visit today is quite simple. He pulled a bank card out of his pocket.
Leave my older brother.
Leave Jiangcheng.
Sukiwano felt this scene was somewhat familiar, as if she had seen it in some melodramatic, primetime soap opera, where the man's vicious mother throws a wad of cash in the female lead's face, demanding, "Leave my son." Sukiwano. She used to think scenarios like this could not possibly happen in real life. Yet, looking at it now, heh, so you are the son of that mistress.
I have heard so much about you.
Xiao Durian's expression instantly plummeted. You are very bold. Do you have any idea what the consequences of your words will be? I do not know, and I have never thought about it. If you're not here to dine, please leave. The classic customer service voice deployed against a dramatic villain. Highly effective, do not disturb the other customers. Xiao Durian pivoted his words, giving her a fleeting, dismissive glance. I want a hand-ground, iced coffee. No milk, no sugar. He pulled a crisp 100 yuan bill from his pocket. Here. I'm sorry. A hand-ground iced coffee is 150 yuan. Xiao Durian grew somewhat flustered and angry. He dug out another 100 from his pocket. Here. Keep the change. Consider it your tip?
Thank you.
Sukiwano exchanged it for a 50 yuan bill at the register and actually stuffed it into her own pocket. Xiao Durian observed her actions. What a destitute loser. A mere 50 yuan tip is enough to make her act like a beast of burden. I really do not know how much water got into Xiao Cherimoya's brain when Sukiwano came over carrying the coffee. Xiao Durian stuck out his foot to trip her. She had not expected Xiao Durian to resort to such a blunt tactic. Her hand trembled and the entire coffee cup went flying, splashing all over Xiao Durian. What is the meaning of this? Taking personal revenge, the shop owner hurried out, unaware of what had just transpired. Upon seeing Xiao Durian's stained clothes, he hastily dragged Sukiwano over to apologize. I am so sorry. Our employee has not been feeling well these past couple of days, so please, Save your breath. I never wear clothes that have been washed. This outfit was imported from Italy, because obviously every rich kid villain in a novel must wear unwashed clothes straight from Italy. The sheer carbon footprint is astounding. I will give you a 20% discount. 8,000 yuan. Are you trying to extort me? The owner could tell it was a very high-end brand, but did not expect it to be that expensive. Sukiwano lifted her eyes, somewhat baffled. This method of picking a fight was just too incredibly childish. Just as Sukiwano was about to speak, I shoved past Yisalak, who was just about to enter, and practically stumbled and crawled my way to her side. What did you just say to her? I shielded Sukiwano firmly behind me. Xiao Durian, who allowed you to come here. The demanding, arrogant demeanor Xiao Durian had just displayed completely vanished, replaced by the facade of a good, caring brother. Xiao Fei, you have not been home in a long time. Mom and Dad asked me to come find you. I'm not here to discuss that with you. What did he just say to you? None of your business. This was my mistake. This piece of clothing will be fine after a wash. Making you pay 8,000 yuan. Is not that just making things deliberately difficult? Sukiwano was a diligent worker at the shop, and the owner genuinely liked the kid, so he could not help but speak up for her. 8,000 yuan? I instantly blew my top. Why do not you just go rob a bank? This manipulative little bitch, the rich kid realizes his family is the real problem. Growth, ladies and gentlemen. He probably just came here to deliberately cause trouble, hoping to drag me back home and curry favor with Dad. I had seen Sukiwano in far too many embarrassing, difficult situations. She always felt that, if only her life could be just a little bit brighter. I grabbed the cuff of Sukiwano's sleeve. Come with me. As I left, I deliberately rammed hard into Yi Salak, saying, sorry, did not see you there. Of course I knew. If the system had not suddenly reminded me earlier that a crucial plot point had arrived, what would have happened next was, Ye Salak's family was not particularly wealthy, but he had saved up a lot of red packet money. He would have stepped in to help Sukiwano out of this situation, and because she was so desperately starved for affection, she would remember even a tiny bit of kindness for a long time. Her affection for Yi Salak would have skyrocketed. I absolutely could not allow such a thing to happen. Why are you here? Sukiwano found my sudden appearance just a little too perfectly timed. She was naturally very suspicious, though she might not go so far as to suspect that I had orchestrated this whole hero saving the beauty scenario. Because why orchestration when pure coincidental stalking does the trick? I was feeling a bit down earlier and just wanted to see you. When I got to the front of the shop, I saw what was happening and rushed right in. What could he possibly do to me? Sukiwano now suspected that in my eyes, she was a fragile, delicate little flower, unable to withstand the slightest breeze or drizzle. He is not a good person. My reasoning sounded exceptionally forced. Sukiwano let out a soft snort of laughter. Right? He certainly is not a good person. I do not want to work anymore. Treat me to a meal. After all, he came here to pick a fight because of you. You should take responsibility, right? Her sudden request left me both shocked and delighted, even though it did not sound like something she would normally say. I felt like I was getting closer to Sukiwano. The villain's affection level was still at 99. I naively assumed the system was just broken. Sure, what do you want to eat? Based on some rumor from who knows where. Sukiwano initially believed my personal life was chaotic, and truthfully, I did act quite casually. Casually fixing my gaze on her, deliberately flirting, which inevitably bred a trace of melancholy resentment within her. If her background and qualifications were better, she would not be so easily manipulated by me, but she was not. Ah, the classic, I am poor so I must be a plaything internal monologue. The angst is palpable. I had said I liked her face. This caused her many sleepless, terrifying nights, tossing and turning. If I met someone even more beautiful in the future, would not she be ruthlessly discarded? After all, I was superficial. She just wanted me to get bored of this game quickly, so I would not be so restless. I babbled on and on, saying she could not handle raw Japanese food, so that was out. Saying her stomach was weak, so we had to avoid spicy food. After pondering over and over, I asked, should we buy some ingredients and cook at home? I actually know how to cook a little bit. If not, I really want to cook for you. Okay. When 2 small dishes and an egg drop soup were served, Sukiwano stared at the quite decent-looking dishes on the plate. I did not expect you to actually know how to cook.
Of course I do.
When Sukiwano picked up the bowl of soup, she paused. An inexplicable sense of familiarity flashed through her mind, but it vanished without a trace in an instant. If I get cornered by someone next time, will you show up then too? Sukiwano suddenly dropped this question, then looked up at me with a dark, unreadable expression. I realized a problem. From the moment she uttered the first word, I was already so nervous my hands started to tremble. My voice came out stuttering. The stalker getting interrogated about his stalking by the Yandere This is top-tier romantic tension. What problem? Do you hate Yi Salak? She had not really noticed before, but this time, seeing Yi Salak and me appear at the same time, Sukiwano took a moment to reflect. Whenever Yi Salak appeared, I always coincidentally happened to be there too. My eyes darted around shiftily, and I did not tell the truth. Sukiwano's tone grew 2 degrees colder. It is because I hate him. I do not want you associating with him. Not in the slightest. Why? Because nothing good will come of you two being together. My tone was incredibly firm. Sukiwano raised an eyebrow and shot back. And what about you and me then?
What?
Will you and I have a good outcome? I collected myself, somewhat afraid to speak. First of all, Sukiwano was destined to kill me. Although that possibility seemed remote right now, but if the mission was completed and I guided her onto the right path, I would leave this world entirely. A mocking smile touched the corners of Sukiwano's mouth as she prepared to resume eating. After a long pause, a voice finally broke the silence. Yes, we will. I will give you the best possible outcome. It won't be a bad ending. I forced a strained smile. The college entrance exam was drawing ever closer. Sukiwano made a trip to the school, specifically bringing news back to tell me. She accompanied me to buy school supplies. What are you spacing out for? Sukiwano paid the bill, turned around, and looked at me still standing in place. Did you forget to buy something? I cast a glance at the gloomy-faced Yi Salak. No. We walked out the door. Sukiwano spotted the milk tea shop across the street. Do you want a drink? I noticed you quite like drinking milk. Ah, the milk tea shop. Ground zero for the I stalked you every day. But let us pretend it was for the boba excuse. Tea. Just now you. I pointed at Yi Salak by the roadside, still somewhat in disbelief. Sukiwano's face was devoid of expression. I want a drink. While Sukiwano went to buy the milk tea, my soul slowly returned to my body. Because just moments ago, Yi Salak had crossed paths with Sukiwano once again. Flashing his signature sweet smile, he greeted her. What a coincidence, we meet again. Before I could even step forward, I heard Sukiwano state coldly, I do not find running into you to be a happy occasion. We are not close. Yi Salak instantly froze on the spot. I was dumbfounded too. Sukiwano shoved the milk tea into my hand and immediately marched forward without looking back. I had been chasing after Sukiwano the entire way. Only when I finally stood beside her did her pace gradually slow down. Our exam rooms are not too far apart, right? I leaned in to strike up a conversation. You are on the 3rd floor. I am on the 1st floor. Then after the exam, can you wait for me? Okay. On the eve of the college entrance exam, I was pacing back and forth in the hallway, extremely anxious. There were barely 24 hours left until my execution. If I managed to survive, the mission regarding Sukiwano would be considered half complete. She could completely break away from the original setting. The world would welcome a brand new Sukiwano. What are you wandering around for in the middle of the night instead of sleeping? Sukiwano looked like she was heading downstairs to buy something. My body stiffened. I turned and saw her long, soft hair falling obediently around her eyes. It was just that those eyes were simply too sharp. Even when she appeared relaxed, she still emitted an inexplicable sense of oppression. The Yandere aura is passive, not active. It is always on. I am nervous. Sukiwano lowered her eyes and looked at me for a long time. Do you want to go downstairs for a walk? Okay. Sukiwano walked beside me. It was obvious that my mind was heavily burdened. She had never been good at comforting people. Just as she was trying to think of something to say, she looked up and met my gaze. You will get into a school eventually. No matter how I sliced it, those words felt uncomfortable to hear. Sukiwano also looked thoroughly annoyed with herself. What I mean is, I know my grades are bad. You do not need to remind me. But I will try my hardest to get into Jiangcheng University. I want to be with you. A local college is not bad either. It is not that far from Jiangcheng University. What were you going to say just now? What do you think of me as a person? When I asked this, my voice was trembling. Not much. I almost forgot she was a champion at saying the exact opposite of what she meant. If it is not much, then it is not much. Are you still planning on majoring in computer science? Then what if? What if you meet a boy who is gentler than me, more handsome than me, and better with words than me? Will you like him? I do not know. I want to go back. She quickened her pace, leaving me behind. What does I do not know mean? It just meant she had not fallen for me, which was entirely normal. How could she possibly develop genuine feelings for someone? Just because of these tiny bits of kindness, the classic I only did everything perfectly for her. Why does not she love me immediately? Protagonist realization. Sukiwano felt that my retreating figure looked incredibly pathetic, walking sluggishly, as if stripped of all dignity. What kind of person is he? I lay in bed. I am a bit tired, no matter who I end up being in this place. To prevent me from being late, she came knocking bright and early, and even urged me to pack my things properly. I was in a daze with so many questions I wanted to ask. But in the end, I did not voice a single own. "Do well on the exam," Sukiwano said, turning to leave. I called out her name, Sukiwano, and suddenly pulled her into my arms. The abrupt embrace made her body stiffen. I just held Sukiwano tightly, enduring for a long time. She reached out and patted my head. I was trembling. She thought I was just nervous. "Do not be nervous. Skip the questions you can't do. Leave them for last. And whatever you do, do not fall asleep. Okay, I hope you stay well. No matter what you do, I will be happy. You will remember me, won't you?" "What are you talking about?" Sukiwano frowned. "Good luck." Sukiwano could not figure out the meaning behind my words. Upon entering the exam room, the first thing she saw was Yi Salak sitting by the window. The boy looked as if he wanted to strike up a conversation with her, but the light in his eyes dimmed in an instant. The exam went very smoothly. However, when Sukiwano finished the test paper, her brows remained tightly locked. She suspected I would not be able to solve the final question, sabotaging her own test to match her perceived slacker boyfriend's score. True romance. So after thinking it over, she intentionally left the final major question blank. As for me, it went perfectly smoothly. Under the system's guidance, I knew exactly what Jiangqing University's cutoff score would be this year, so I kept my score hovering right at that line, neither too high nor too low. If Sukiwano was stubbornly determined to choose the computer science department, then I would risk my life to accompany her and sneak right in. I ran fast. Turning in my paper immediately, I bolted up the stairs to the 3rd floor. Sukiwano was still in the classroom, slowly packing up her things. I frowned as I glanced over at Yisalak. The protagonist's plot armor really is terrifyingly strong. They even ended up in the same exam room for the Gaokao. Sukiwano looked toward the back door, and right after I threw my arms around her, the teenager's scent enveloped her, soft and pressed closely against her. Sukiwano blushed slightly, her body swaying. I hugged her tightly, refusing to let go, clinging onto her like a burr. I am so exhausted from the exam. I need to recharge my energy. Sukiwano instantly stopped moving. Yai Salak stared at me. I flashed him a provocative smirk. Yai Salak felt his breathing hitch. Sukiwano was an ungrateful wretch, and Xiaochira Moya was no good either. They truly were a match made in hell. Yai Salak haughtily tossed his head and walked away. The male lead departs, realizing he cannot compete with the sheer audacity of this couple. The classroom gradually emptied out. Sukiwano felt her body burning up. "Are you done yet?" I chattered away continuously at the dining table, excitedly explaining how to tackle the detailed problems, my eyes sparkling. Sukiwano picked through her rice bowl, naturally transferring the pieces of meat into my plate. I was talking non-stop, completely unaware that Sukiwano was watching me. As I obediently put that piece of meat into my mouth, her eyes curving into a smiling crescent. "I'm going to the restroom for a bit. Is this your wallet?" Hearing someone speak beside me, I snapped back to reality. I turned my head and saw a girl's clean, innocent face. Her aura was completely different from Sukiwano's. It was truly clean and pure, with soft, gentle features.
Thank you.
"You're welcome." I took a couple of extra glances, because this girl was the female lead of the novel, and the protagonist manages to accidentally rizz up the female lead. The system must be having a stroke. Is she pretty? Someone suddenly asked coldly. Without thinking, I replied, "Yes, she is pretty." I whipped my head around and met Sukiwano's dark, sinking gaze. I was doomed. "Am I interrupting you?" Looking at her. "Sorry." Sukiwano turned and walked away. I panicked instantly and hurriedly chased after her. I was not. Get away from me. Sukiwano shoved me aside, watching her already out the door. I was in an utter panic. I pulled out my wallet, but when I went to pay, the owner told me the bill for this table had already been settled. I hastily chased her outside. I knew Xiaochira Moya was superficial. Sukiwano viciously stomped on a pebble on the ground. Earlier, she felt I had been gone for too long, worried that something had held me up. But right when she walked over, she saw me staring foolishly at that girl's back. Although she did not see the girl's face clearly, she figured the girl must be quite good looking. I trailed pitifully behind her, neither of us speaking a word. When she was about to enter the exam venue, I finally grabbed the corner of her shirt. That person. She just looked a lot like a celebrity. I know. She looks like a celebrity excuse. A bold strategy usually leading to immediate romantic failure. There is no need to explain.
I am not interested in any of this.
True. Thinking back to the expression she had just now, I almost thought she was jealous. Forget it. Sukiwano definitely would not have such emotions. Thinking about that 99 affection score, I must have been flattering myself. 5 hours left until my execution. I slumped on my desk, feeling utterly dejected. Every second of these 5 hours felt like a year. Sukiwano probably had no reason left to kill me. After finishing the final exam, I waited nervously for Sukiwano at the gate. When Sukiwano emerged, she instantly noticed I was in a bad mood. After pondering for a moment, she figured her attitude at noon might have been too harsh and scared me. She also realized that she had absolutely no right to be angry. I was like a kite soaring high in the sky. She was the Owen holding the string, but there was always the possibility I could fly away at any moment. She felt it was incredibly unfair. Like a fish on a chopping block at the mercy of others, the Yandere realizes that love requires vulnerability. Character development activated. Can I walk back with you?
Let us go.
Sukiwano did not hesitate, simply letting me tag along. She kept feeling like I had a lot on my mind, but I kept holding back my words. Today, Sukiwano, what exactly is our relationship? What do you think it is? I do not know. Sukiwano's heart plummeted. Before this, did not he constantly proclaim that he was her boyfriend? And now he does not know. Whatever you want it to be. I did not know what to say, seeing me remain completely silent. Sukiwano endured it for a long time, before turning her head and asking, "Are you done playing your game? What are you trying to tell me now that treating me well before was just so you could abandon me? Is that it?" I did not. Sukiwano's interrogation, mixed with various chaotic emotions, turned my thought process into a complete tangled mess. Whatever. After saying that, Sukiwano's heart ached with agonizing clenches. My mind was entirely flooded with affection-level notifications, fluctuating wildly up and down. It made my head feel like it was going to explode, so I stood rooted to the spot, paralyzed by the agonizing noise. Sukiwano did not spare me another glance, walking away briskly.
Let us go.
She was already used to leaving me behind, and I was already used to watching her back as she walked away. The moment the affection level was completely wiped to zero, I stood frozen in place for a long time. What did this mean? A sudden reset to zero. What exactly the captured target was thinking, only Sukiwano knew. I could not figure it out, and I did not want to go home either. Sukiwano did not know why she was keeping watch by the window. Looking down, she never caught sight of my figure. He went back, I guess. He is probably bored of this game. He has had his fun. It is time he returned to his proper place. The Yandere rationalizing her own heartbreak. Classic defense mechanism. I stood 10 paces away, from the exact spot where I was originally supposed to die according to the plot. Sukiwano was not here. I survived. I felt a bit dazed. Checking the time, there was still half an hour left. Surviving meant the mission was not over yet. I still had to keep appearing by Sukiwano's side to prevent her from turning dark. Just as I turned to leave, I heard a sharp cry from inside the alleyway. Instinctively, I walked towards the alley, and there I saw Yisalek, trembling like a leaf, cornered by a group of petty thugs. "Do not come any closer. I will scream for help." I scratched my head. What kind of plotline was this? Xiao Shiramoya. Seeing someone arrive at the alley entrance, Yi Salak felt a sudden surge of joy and hastily called out. That group of thugs all whipped their heads around to look at me. One of them called out in pleasant surprise, "Brother Fei." Yi Salak's face instantly darkened. Ah, the classic misunderstanding. When your own lackey sabotage your redemption arc, trembling, he asked. "Did you hire these people?" I stared at the thug's face. Racking my brains, I had no idea who this guy was. "What are you guys doing?" Our boss just wanted to invite him over to hang out for a bit. But this kid refused a toast only to be forced to drink a forfeit. "I heard you do not like this pretty boy either, Brother Fei. How about we let you teach him a lesson first today? You guys take him?" Before I could finish my sentence, someone tapped me on the shoulder. Seeing Sukiwano, the string of sanity in my brain snapped. I was doomed. Yai Salak, fueled by some unknown strength, actually managed to break through the thug's blockade and charge straight over. He bumped into me, making me stumble. Yai Salak ran right to Sukiwano's side, while I was caught by Owen of the thugs next to me. "Are you asking for a death wish? Brother Fei, are you hurt? What are you standing there for? Pin this idiot down for me. Have not you guys eaten?" Before the petty thugs could even finish their sentences, I suddenly thought of a potential trigger. I did not do this. I forcefully shoved the thug beside me away, trying to completely distance myself from them. Yai Salak looked terrified, making my heart skip a beat. Sukiwano did not push him away. She patted Yi Salak comfortingly and said softly, "I will walk you home." A petty thug stubbornly tried to stop me. I slapped him right across the face. "Brother Fei, you." He looked utterly bewildered. I gritted my teeth, making them grind. "If you do not know how to speak, then keep your mouth shut." Pro tip. If you want to be a reformed villain, maybe stop slapping your underlings in public. And do not ever let me see you guys again. Yai Salak cried the entire way as they walked. Sukiwano was incredibly annoyed by his crying. For no reason, she recalled the look in my eyes just now. It was a look that made people feel deeply heartbroken. What just happened? After school, they blocked my path and dragged me into the alley. I did not provoke them at all. Do you think Xiao Cheramoya was behind this? It was not him. Sukiwano stated with absolute certainty. Have you forgotten what he did to you before? Sukiwano instinctively did not believe Yisalak's words, but I had indeed done those things in the past.
I will help you call a cab.
I have somewhere to be. They should not follow you now. I had not gone far, just standing quietly at the entrance of the alley. The group of thugs had already left. When I saw Sukiwano, my eyes lit up, but I quickly suppressed the emotion. Sukiwano still came. At 8:25, I really did not do that just now. I stubbornly wanted to reiterate it one more time. Even though I knew that once Sukiwano made up her mind, it was hard to change. She did not say anything, just stared at me intently. I know I was really awful before, but I'm truly changing. As I said this, the corners of my eyes grew red. I have absolutely no reason to target Yisalak. I swear. Sukiwano took a step toward me. I took a step back. The classic predator-prey dance. Very romantic. Assuming you're not terrified for your life. Are you here to take revenge for him? I have a low pain tolerance. Can you let me choose a more comfortable way to die? Is there something wrong with your brain? Shao Shiramoya. Sukiwano let out a laugh of sheer exasperation. I looked up, somewhat stunned. Tears were still swimming in my eyes. She pulled a tissue from her pocket and shoved it at me. You look incredibly ugly. Stop crying. I had no idea what she was thinking. Is this not enough? I only brought this own tissue. Do you want me to go buy you some more? No, I thought to myself, is not she here to kill me? Are not you throwing me away? Who said that? My face broke into a massive smile. I haphazardly wiped my face and asked, you left me here earlier, and you just walked away this afternoon too. Sukiwano's heart pounded wildly because of my agitation. The same action. In the same small alleyway, Sukiwano pinned me against the wall once again. We were incredibly close. The teenager's breathing was a bit unsteady. Her breath brushed against my face. You were the ON who said you were getting bored of the game. That is pure bullshit. I instantly let out a curse. I desperately wanted Sukiwano to only like me. That way she would not have any interest in arguing with Yisalak or competing with the female lead. Say one more curse word. I dare you. The Yandere Ray enforcing a swear jar policy. Now, that is true character development. She gently pinched my cheek. I broke into a wide grin. I won't say it anymore. I'm just happy. Even if Sukiwano were to beat me up right now, I would still be happy. Shao Cheramoya, I'm not a toy. You flirted with me, and I took it seriously. I never said you were a toy. I am a very obsessive person. I am sick in the head. I am sensitive, paranoid, and emotionally unstable. I am a very bad person. Before you said you wanted to be with me for the rest of your life. I took that seriously. Every feeling between us is wiped to zero as of right now. We are starting over from scratch. If you do not like me, we can just pretend to be strangers. But if you flirt with me again, I will fall in love with. I like you. Before Sukiwano could finish her sentence, I decisively interrupted. My eyes told her that I was speaking from the bottom of my heart. At least in this very moment, I genuinely liked her. Shao Cheramoya, you do not seem like the old Shao Cheramoya. Hearing this, my heart instantly froze. Shao Cheramoya, let us go home. Sukiwano took the initiative to hold my hand. I felt a distinct difference in the affection meter. The affection level had paused right at 0. 0 is infinitely better than -99. We take those wins. Sukiwano had never liked anyone before, but at this moment, she overwhelmingly wanted me to belong to her. We both successfully got into Jiangcheng University as we wished. I pondered. What was it like dating someone like Sukiwano? Her affection level increased steadily by 1 point a day. Sometimes it would even increase by 0.1. However, Sukiwano was indeed a standard textbook perfect girlfriend, working over the summer to save up for living expenses. But every time she came home from her part-time job, she would always bring back some small treats, like my favorite milk tea, or the chicken drumsticks I loved. Are you dating that boy downstairs? Sukiwano had the day off today. Hearing me say I wanted to go out and play, she started getting ready to head out early in the morning. Her mother's question made Sukiwano's body stiffen. Being discovered by her mother was quite normal. That boy's family background is quite affluent, is not it? Go on. Sukiwano did not say a word, just closed the door. I had already been waiting downstairs for a long time, but Sukiwano remained completely silent. Are you unhappy? Did you have an argument with your mom? No. Sukiwano cast a glance at me. It was as if I was a roundworm in her stomach. A gross idiom, but we get the point. You are very perceptive. Every single time I could pierce right through her deliberate disguises. You are overthinking it. Have you been in contact with your family lately? No. Liar. Sukiwano looked at me, my guilty expression giving me away immediately. I got into Jiangcheng University, and my dad seemed to have suddenly had an epiphany. Not only did he buy back that villa, but he was constantly urging me to come home. Sukiwano seemed to be in low spirits the entire day. No matter how I tried to make her laugh, her mood did not improve much. Currently, her affection level had reached 30, and her dark turn meter had dropped to 60. I was happy every day just seeing Sukiwano, a joy that came from nowhere in particular. We sat on a bench comfortably enjoying the evening breeze. Sukiwano stared at me, seemingly lost in thought. "I'm curious about something. Why did you think I would kill you?" As those words fell, the smile on my face instantly vanished. I had come up with that strategy, thinking that if I brought it up every day, she would eventually drop the idea. I did not expect it to come back and bite me now.
But why was she suddenly asking this?
Could it be she had developed murderous intent again? I braced myself and started making things up on the fly. It was just a bad dream defense. The most reliable tool in the Transmigrator's arsenal. I had a nightmare. I dreamt that you chopped me into 8 pieces. That dream was just too incredibly realistic, saying that I held my drink up to her face. "Try this, it is super sweet." Sukiwano had seen right through my thoughts long ago. Under my expectant gaze, she took a sip. "It really is quite sweet and sour." Her face was entirely devoid of expression. My hand trembled, and I took the drink back, absent-mindedly taking 2 sips. "Holy shit, it is so sour."
Haha.
Sukiwano rarely laughed. When she laughed, her eyes were the most beautiful, rippling like a pool of spring water. I bit my straw, secretly watching her, and a smile crept onto my face too. Sukiwano felt that being with me always made her lose track of time. In a flash, it was the day to report to Zhangcheng University. This place was still quite a distance away. Even my teachers were baffled that I managed to get into Zhangcheng University. Cheating was impossible. So they decisively came to a conclusion. Smoke must have been rising from my ancestral tombs to bless me. Sukiwano and I walked together the whole way. Her beautiful silhouette was exceptionally striking on campus, attracting the gazes of many students. Consequently, the moment I arrived at my dorm, my roommates enthusiastically crowded around me. "Hey bro, who was that girl walking with you earlier?" "My girlfriend." My tone carried a hint of pride. "Is she at this university too?"
What major?
"Same major as me. I am studying computer science. Nice to meet you all. I'm Xiao Cherimoya." However, my happiness did not last long. The dorm door was pushed open once again. My eyes met Yisalak's outside the door. It felt like sparks were about to fly. The classic sworn enemy is now your college roommate trope. A staple of the genre, Yai Salak's body went stiff. His jaw practically dropped. He wanted to run away right then and there. Sharing a dorm with me was his absolute worst nightmare. Haha, you guys know each other. That is such a coincidence. You guys chat. I'm gonna go hang out with my girlfriend. Since it was the first day of freshman registration, there were many parents helping students unpack and carry luggage, so I very easily managed to slip into her dorm building. Just as I was about to knock, Sukiwano's dorm door opened in response. "Handsome. Who are you looking for?" Sukiwano followed the gaze as well, furrowing her brows. "Why are you here?" Sukiwano did not even finish making her bed. Walking over, she grabbed my hand. I handed out a few cups of milk tea. "Nice to meet you all for the first time. I am Sukiwano's boyfriend. These drinks are for you guys." Sukiwano reached out and grabbed the corner of my shirt. Noticing movement at the door, she immediately pulled me to her side. I stared at the person in front of me, looking so righteous and proper. Zheng Yuning had probably arrived early and had already gotten to know everyone in the dorm. That group of people immediately called out to her. Sister Ning, the little boyfriend, came to deliver milk tea. Zheng Yuning looked at me, a smile blooming on her face. "It is you." The female lead remembers the protagonist. This love triangle is getting geometrically complicated. "Do you still remember me?"
I am the ON who picked up your wallet at the restaurant.
Thank you.
I smiled at her as well. Sukiwano stared at me for a long moment, finally remembering what this was all about. She immediately grabbed me and pulled me outside to hide. "Are you hungry? Let us go eat." Sukiwano felt incredibly stifled. That girl had money and looks. Just looking at her demeanor, Owen could tell she was incredibly attractive to young boys. Sukiwano dragged me downstairs, reluctant to leave.
Is that girl pretty?
"What? Not as pretty as you."
I had already gotten smart about this.
Now, I could say with absolute certainty that Sukiwano was a massive jealousy jar. "Have you seen the class assignment list?" Sukiwano changed the subject. Only then did I remember to pull out my phone. Sukiwano had also bought herself own with the money she earned working, although she still was not quite used to using a smartphone. I heard from my roommate. No need to look. We are not in the same class. I felt a bit dejected. I had worked so hard to get in, yet I still was not in the same class as Sukiwano. Our class schedules would be completely different. I'm in the same dorm as Yi Salak. Do you want me to keep an eye on him for you? Why would you keep an eye on him? That guy is sneaky. He is always hovering around you. I do not like it. I clenched my fists. If I find out you two are in contact, he is dead meat. Yes, threatening the male lead's life. A very normal, healthy boyfriend behavior? Su Kiwano let out a scoffing laugh. He is definitely trying to steal my girl. You absolutely cannot get close to that bad man. Do you hear me? Su Kiwano really liked it when I acted like this. It made her feel like I was paying special attention to her. Her heart was entirely filled by me. Okay. In the dorm, her roommates were chattering away, with nothing to do. Su Kiwano felt incredibly out of place. She felt she should find a part-time job to keep herself busy. Su Kiwano, tell us about you and your boyfriend. How did you two meet? High school classmates. That is so sweet. Have you guys done that yet? Su Kiwano shot a glance over. Jang Yuning spoke up from the side. All right, that is enough. Why are you asking such a private question? Meanwhile, my roommates were also asking me how I managed to woo the goddess. She loved me, so I just went along with it. Really, what else could it be? I looked over at Yi Salak, asked him. Back then, he even claimed that I forced her to be my girlfriend. And what did my girlfriend say afterward? My girlfriend said she was not close to him at all and told Yi Salak to stop pestering her. What nonsense are you spouting, Xiao Cheramoya? Do not push people too far. Yay. Salak's eyes turned red. The male lead getting bullied by the protagonist. Oh, how the tables have turned. Who knows who is organizing school bullying every single day? Ask your conscience, how many times did you hit Kiwano? Should not I have suspected you? Who knows if you did not hire those thugs during the Gaokao, relying on your family's money to cause trouble all day long? My eyes had already grown cold. So what if I hit her? Does not she still like me anyway? Also, do not throw dirty water on me. I had nothing to do with those thugs. I suggest you shut your stinking mouth. Murderer, I said it. So what? Hearing those words genuinely caught me off guard. I froze for a second, then immediately hefted a nearby chair. Say that one more time if you have the guts. Yai. Salak was not about to back down either, taking a step forward to confront me. Hit me if you have the guts. I swallowed hard. This Yi Salak seemed different from before as well. I held the chair, acting as if I was about to swing it. He stood his ground, staring right at me. In the next second, I put the chair down. Because Su Kiwano had told me not to get into fights, forget it. I will let you off the hook this time. Yi Salak let out a cold snort and walked away. After I got into a shouting match with Yi Salak in the dorm, my roommates finally understood the situation. We were both as bad as each other. I personally did not care about these rumors. I only cared about what Su Kiwano thought. But Yi Salak was not nearly as easygoing. From childhood until now, no matter where he went, he was always held in the palm of everyone's hand. Yet he kept hitting a brick wall with me time and time again. The male lead experiencing protagonist syndrome from the other side. A humbling experience. It is clearly my fault. Why is Yi Salak having trouble adjusting to school? Jang Yuning saw that he looked heavily burdened. Her voice was incredibly soft and gentle. No, I'm just not in a good mood. Tell me about it. Jang Yuning and Yi Salak had grown up together. They were childhood sweethearts. In Jang Yuning's eyes, Yi Salak was a boy who had been kind-hearted since childhood. If she had to pick a flaw, it would be that he was too kind-hearted. Sister Ning? Am I really that annoying? Who said that? Are you not getting along with your roommates? I do not want to either. Yi Salak felt quite aggrieved. He always felt his roommates subtly distancing themselves from him. I met a guy a while back. He insisted that I was trying to steal his girlfriend. Now we have been assigned to the same dorm. After we had a fight, now the whole dorm is ignoring me. Something like that happened. What is his name? Do not be like this. I do not want to cause trouble. Let him talk if he wants. It does not matter. It does not matter. Does not he love to talk? I would like to see what he has to say to my face. I took a stroll around the cafeteria. Su Kiwano, walking beside me, kept a close eye on my gaze. Nothing you want to eat. Should we go to the other cafeteria, right? I do not want to settle. I turned my head and told Su Kiwano, I heard there is a double skim milk place nearby. It is super delicious. Double skim milk? The ultimate dessert to distract a Yandere from a looming plot conflict. I want to, before I could finish my sentence. I caught sight of Yi Salak and Jang Yuning standing together over there. In the original setting, their relationship had not reached the romantic stage yet, even though it looked somewhat ambiguous. But in reality, neither of them had realized. It was Su Kiwano's appearance and Yi Salak's constant overtures toward her that triggered Jang Yuning's possessiveness, thus making her realize her true feelings. Su Kiwano noticed I had stopped moving. She turned her head and asked casually, did not you say you wanted to get double skim milk? Seeing me point with my chin, she finally followed my line of sight. Yi Salak and the girl beside him look really good together. I crossed my arms and sighed nostalgically. Su Kiwano noticed Jang Yuning beside him and subconsciously grabbed my hand. What is so interesting about them? Jang Yuning suddenly met Su Kiwano's gaze and took large strides toward us. Is there a problem? Su Kiwano's face remained utterly calm. I quietly intertwined my fingers with Su Kiwano's. I only ever acted so clingy when I saw Yi Salak. Which dorm is your boyfriend in? He is in the same dorm as your boyfriend, right? Boyfriend Jang Yuning was stunned for a second. Looking at Yi Salak beside her, she instantly realized what was going on. The female lead assumes everyone is dating everyone else. High school drama follows them to college. No, we are just friends. I heard he is being bullied in his dorm. You just said he is in the same dorm as your boyfriend. I found this amusing. Why do not you tell me about it? Who is bullying him?
What a joke. This is my turf.
Jang Yuning's expression showed a hint of surprise. Stop messing around. Sukiwano reprimanded me in a low voice. Everyone knows what you were like in high school. A bad temper and no sense of propriety. Now that you have finally reined it in, do not. Brother Salak, given our history, I won't allow anyone to bully you. I raised an eyebrow, smiling lazily. Then please do tell me, how exactly do the guys in your dorm talk about Yi Salak behind his back? Is that okay? I do not know about that. I actually think our dorm's atmosphere is quite harmonious. Could it be that you did something shady and someone dug it up? You're speaking nonsense, Xiao Cherimoya. This is all because of you. What are you pretending to be so hypocritical for here? Yay. Salak refused to say anything more, just focused on dragging Jang Yuning away. I clicked my tongue. Now this finally had the flavor of a vicious supporting male character. Embracing the villain role to protect the Yandere. Truly an inspirational love story.
Your name is Xiao Cherimoya, right?
I want to talk to you.
Sure.
Let us go.
The few of us sat in a quiet milk tea shop. I completely lacked the self-awareness of someone who had just done a bad deed, looking entirely relaxed and carefree. Was it you? Sukiwano took advantage of the two of them ordering, leaned in close to my ear and asked in a hushed voice. Was what me? I looked a picture of innocence. Sukiwano was almost fooled by it. She flicked me lightly on the forehead. The moment I said I was in the same dorm as Yi Salak, she knew things would go south, and sure enough, it had not even been a few days before I was bullying Yi Salak again. Why do you have to target him? Jang Yuning's tone carried a hint of coldness. I was just thinking, no matter how tough you act, can you possibly be more badass than the person beside me? The person beside me is the ultimate villain of the book. Because I feel like it. Jang Yuning's brows knitted tightly together. How could this Xiao Cherimoya be so shameless? She let out a sigh. Since you guys will be sharing a dorm for the next 3 years, let us wipe the slate clean. Even if you do not become good friends in the future, let us at least not fight anymore. Alright, Sukiwano looked at Jang Yuning and let out a sigh of relief. Honestly, she was also feeling unsure. I pushed my milk tea over to Sukiwano. I can't drink anymore. Fine.
I accept your suggestion.
Also, do not mess with my girlfriend. Jang Yuning smiled. Thank you for doing me this favor. I want to go back to the dorm and rest. I leaned in close to Sukiwano and planted a kiss on her cheek. Sukiwano had a very high tolerance for me, to the point where she could turn a blind eye to many of my little flaws, but I never messed with his girlfriend at all. It does not matter. Just let it go. When Jang Yuning returned to the dorm and saw Sukiwano, she thought for a moment and said, things got a bit unpleasant today. I hope your boyfriend is not angry. He is not. That is good then. Tonight, I'm planning to treat the dorm to drinks. You should bring your boyfriend along. I will bring Yi Salak. Let us settle our differences over a drink. He does not like situations where Yi Salak is present, because avoiding the male lead is survival rule number 1. Sukiwano gets it. What exactly is going on between them? Jang Yuning's curiosity was piqued. I asked Yi Salak in detail too. Thinking back and forth, there is no deep-seated grudge between them. I do not really understand either. He just seems to specifically target Yi Salak. Today was probably his fault. Please apologize to him on his behalf for me. I won't be attending tonight's gathering. How can you not go? Jang Yuning had a good temper and knew how to handle social situations. Just the few of us from the dorm going out to hang out. We just won't invite those boys. Then, Sukiwano did not have much money, but she understood that this was a necessary part of socializing. If she refused now, it really would be considered ungrateful and rude. When I heard Sukiwano was going out drinking, I specifically told her to drink less. Yi Salak won't be there, right? What kind of deep grudge do you have against him? Always Yi Salak this, Yi Salak that. I do not have a grudge. I suddenly realized I might be acting a bit too obsessed, but he was someone with protagonist plot armor. No, he won't. Just the friends from my dorm. Then buy me a bucket of popcorn on your way back. Before she left, I gave her a hug and secretly slipped 500 yuan into her pocket. She said no boys were invited. When Sukiwano walked into the private room and saw Yi Salak, her expression instantly turned quite unpleasant. Jang Yuning explained Yi Salak did not want to go back to his dorm, and he does not have any other friends here, so it is fine. Sukiwano did not say anything further. Yi Salak was indeed a very likable person. Halfway through the dinner, he had already mingled well with her roommates. Laughing and joking, the atmosphere was very lively. Sukiwano, however, seemed to remain outside the liveliness. Towards the end of the dinner, the group got bored and wanted to play Truth or Dare. Sukiwano could not just put down her chopsticks and leave, so she had to brace herself and keep playing. In the very first round, Sukiwano was chosen. Amidst the cheering, she chose dare. The dare was to call her partner and ask for a breakup. And see their reaction? Truth or dare, destroying fictional relationships since the dawn of time. Suki Wano remained silent. Jang Yuning noticed the atmosphere chilling and said, "Oh, do not do that. It was not easy for them to get together. Why cause trouble for them?" Suki Wano simply grabbed a bottle of baijiu from the table, poured a full glass, tilted her head back, and downed it all. She did not dare gamble on the next round. Even though I had indulged her so much, Suki Wano drank too fast. By the time the dinner ended, her head was swimming. The others were also quite drunk. When it ended, the dorm curfew had already passed. Jang Yuning directly booked 4 hotel rooms. Since she could not take care of so many people by herself, she instructed Yi Salak, "Keep an eye on Kiwano. Head to the hotel first and put it under my name." Yay! Salak and Sukiwano sat in the back seat together. Sukiwano seemed to have already reached her limit, feeling extremely uncomfortable. Their crossed arms transferred body heat. Sukiwano's eyes were hazy with sleep. Her head tilted, resting on Yi Salak's shoulder. Red alert. Female villain leaning on the male protagonist. The transmigrator is going to lose his mind. Yi Salak's body went stiff. He cast a glance at Sukiwano, his expression dimming. She is such a good girl. Why did she have to fall for Xiao Cheramoya? Thinking to himself, he silently supported her head, leaning it against the other side of the car window, then got out of the car, planning to buy her a sobering drink. Sukiwano kept muttering about popcorn. At that moment, having received a warning from the system, I rushed over. Without a word, I helped Sukiwano out of the car, supporting her, preparing to leave. Suddenly, a voice called out, "Wait!" I turned around, only to see Yi Salak extending a bottle of beverage toward me.
Take this.
It is to sober her up. I was momentarily stunned, but still accepted the drink, turned, and left. Unable to return to the dorm, I took Sukiwano to a hotel near the university. The girl beside me slept deeply. Her brows were tightly knitted. Who knows what she was dreaming about? A flush of red colored her delicate cheeks. I could not quite control myself, reaching out to touch her face, but before I even made contact, her eyes snapped open. An awkward atmosphere filled the air. Our eyes met. Sukiwano's gaze trembled slightly, and she buried herself directly into my embrace. I just had a nightmare. Go to sleep, it is late. My face flushed bright red. Hearing my snores begin to sound, Sukiwano slowly opened her eyes, tears seeping out. Earlier, she had not dared to say that she dreamt of the scene in the alley. The nightmare reveals the truth. The Yandere's tragic backstory meets the protagonist's impending doom. The boy with a knife plunged into his chest, slowly falling to his knees before her, tugging at her pant leg, his voice twisted with agonizing pain. "Save me." The version of herself in the dream seemed utterly indifferent to the situation, so cold it was inhuman. Squatting down, wearing white gloves, she patted the boy's pale face. "Scum, like you do not deserve to live in this world. If you must blame someone, blame yourself for constantly provoking those you should not. Do not cross paths with me in your next life." It was those very words that jolted Sukiwano awake. She had always considered herself a cold, erratic person. After experiencing the series of tragedies in the Su family, she had told herself since childhood that she must take revenge by any means necessary. If Xiao Cheramoya were to know about her past, he would definitely look down on her, would not he? Sukiwano propped herself up and looked at me for a long time. If there were truly a deity in heaven protecting her, that deity's name must be Xiao Cheramoya. After sobering up, she could not fall back asleep. The reason being, my sleeping posture was simply atrocious, rolling all over the bed, and occasionally hugging her, rubbing against her. She did not dare move, afraid of waking me up, so she just lay there stiffly the entire night. The moment I woke up, she fled into the bathroom in a completely disheveled state. It took her a long time to come out. Time to head back to school. Did you know you drool when you sleep at night? Initially, I was feeling a bit restless, thinking that we finally had a bit of that couple-like atmosphere. But before the mood could even build, Sukiwano utterly killed it with that single sentence. My face remained dark the entire time. Sukiwano acted as if she could not see it. On our way back, we coincidentally bumped into Yi Salak and Jang Yuning.
Xiao.
Cheramoya, wait a moment. I want to talk to you alone. Do you have time? Jang Yuning called out from behind us. I only hesitated for a second, before smiling and nodding.
Sure.
Jang Yuning specifically arranged to meet at a milk tea shop on campus. When I saw Sukiwano's expression gradually turning gloomy, I wanted to say it really was not necessary. But unfortunately, it was too late. Yi Salak told me everything yesterday. I think there must be some misunderstanding between you and Yi Salak. Misunderstanding. He has absolutely no intention of stealing your girlfriend. The female lead trying to mediate. This will surely end well and not result in more misunderstandings. Is that so? Did Yi Salak also tell you what I was like in high school? Jang Yuning fell silent. I asked and answered my own question. I am a coward, unreasonable and arrogant. I'm just targeting him. What are you going to do about it? After delivering that speech, I silently gave myself a thumbs up in my mind. I had played the role of the vicious supporting male character to absolute perfection. Right, my girlfriend is still waiting for me at the door. Military training flew by. On the final day, all the platoons gathered together for an evening gala. Both boys and girls were eager to show off their talents, hoping to stand out. Is not there a joking saying, as long as you perform well tonight, priority mating rights are yours? I found an opening and sneakily stood beside Sukiwano. Grabbing her hand, I looked at her and smiled. The surrounding boys let out a chorus of whistles and teasing remarks. In the past, she had hated the feeling of being watched, always feeling that those people were looking at her with strange gazes. But in this moment, she enjoyed it. A boy behind us stealthily passed something over. Sukiwano hesitated for a second, then realized it was 2 bottles of beer. The night breeze was gentle. I smiled and said thanks. Come on, a toast to our hard-won romance. What hard-won romance? You do not understand. I took a massive gulp. Sukiwano always had that cold, unapproachable look, like she could kill me at any moment. Who would not be terrified of that? Good thing I had grasped Sukiwano's weakness. People with psychological issues are mostly just starved for love and care. Since Sukiwano did not have her own sky, then I would strive to become her sky. The protagonist's savior complex is peaking. A classic recipe for disaster or true love. We will see. The more I thought about it, the happier I got. I ended up downing the entire bottle in one go. After finishing it, I just felt the world spinning. My head was buzzing. Sukiwano also noticed something was wrong. The boy who had handed us the beer scratched his head. I was just about to say, this is a devil's brew I just bought. I wanted to let you guys try something new. Seeing how fast your boyfriend chugged it, he should be fine. Right? Over on my end, I had already fallen silent, staring intently at the center stage. Suddenly the music shifted. Sukiwano took her eyes off me for one second and saw me, expertly weaving out from beside her.
Shuffling my way to the center of the crowd,
I gripped the empty beer bottle, bit my lip, and started dancing to the rhythm. Sukiwano hurriedly tried to drag me away. Why are you pulling me? What do you think? That is my stage.
Stage my ass.
Does not it look good? I used to be a top-tier idol, drunk confessions revealing past lives to the Yandere. This could go terribly wrong or wonderfully right. Sukiwano. I cupped her face and stared at her for a long time. She planted a kiss on the side of her face.
thank you.
Why are you suddenly saying this so seriously? For giving me the chance to stay in one piece. Sukiwano clearly saw my lips moving, but the words in between seemed to have been censored out like in a movie. What did you say? I said my body suddenly felt incredibly lonely, as if I was experiencing extreme pain. My legs gave out, and I fell to my knees. Sukiwano watched helplessly as I kowtowed to her. The system's protection mechanism had just been triggered, blasting me directly with a high-voltage electric shock. The alcohol in my system instantly vanished. When I regained my senses, I saw myself sprawled on the ground. Sukiwano's expression was truly something to behold. I am just so thankful that you agreed to be my girlfriend. But I did not know how to express my excitement, so I kowtowed to you. Are you satisfied with this method of showing gratitude? Get up quickly. Sukiwano knew I was spouting nonsense. She did not know whether to laugh or cry. Do your legs hurt? Honestly, I had not felt anything before. I had endured much worse pain from resisting the system before this, but no one had ever asked me if it hurt. I was incredibly moved, so I immediately hugged her, my hands wandering rather dishonestly. What are you touching? What is wrong with touching my own girlfriend? Sukiwano did not respond, but for that brief moment, I truly felt like I could stay by her side for the rest of my life. With no regrets whatsoever, I had once chased down the system to ask for those hosts who entered S-rank missions but failed. What is the most likely mistake they made? The system replied, they fell in love with their captured targets. The ultimate taboo. Falling for the Yandere is a guaranteed fail condition. But who can resist? We arrived at the bottom of the dorm building, lingering reluctantly as we parted, turning back every few steps. I felt that if this kind of life went on for too long, I would constantly be in a daze. If the system had not reminded me that a new chapter was about to begin, I would have remained immersed in the daily routine of joking around and bickering with Sukiwano. Late at night, my phone suddenly rang. I hastily answered it, only to hear Sukiwano's somewhat hoarse voice.
Xiao Cherimoya. I have to go home tomorrow.
I do not know when I will be back. Be a good boy at school and do not cause any trouble. Okay? Calculating the dates, the time had indeed arrived. Can you wait downstairs for a little bit? Just for a little bit. I want to see you.
Right now.
Sukiwano fell silent for a moment, then replied, okay. Can you tell me what happened? Sukiwano's eyes were rimmed red, tears pooling in the corners of her eyes. Seeing me, she finally could not hold it in anymore. I had never felt that. Knowing the future was such a painful thing. The entire world was hurtling towards illness and suffering, whether entangled in pain or experiencing extreme joy and sorrow. I was utterly powerless. The captured target's dark turn meter is rising sharply. Host, please be prepared. Auntie is a good person. Heaven will protect her. She will definitely be fine. Look at you. Your eyes are all red. Why do not you get some sleep? I pulled the girl into my embrace with Owen arm, trying to distract her. Girlfriend, are we still considered puppy love now? Can I tell your mom that I am your boyfriend? That way it would officially count as meeting the parents, right? I did not know what Sukiwano was thinking. She lay quietly in my arms. Come pat my head. The Yandere seeking comfort. A rare and precious moment of vulnerability. Are you a dog? I heard that patting someone's head can make them feel better. Should not you be the Owen patting mine then? Saying that, I placed my hand on her head. Do you feel better now? I pondered how, back when I urged Sukiwano to study medicine, I was somewhat biased towards her, wanting her to have a better life. She was a genius. Maybe there would be a turning point. But life and death in this world are unpredictable. It had no intention of sparing anyone. The moment we arrived at the hospital, Sukiwano rushed straight to the ward. I looked at the neighbor standing nearby. She was a middle-aged woman in her 50s, looking very kind. Hello, Auntie. I just asked the doctor. Did you help cover the medical fees? How much was it? I will reimburse you 600 yuan on Sukiwano's behalf. Are you the boy from downstairs? Are you her relative? I live downstairs, but I am Sukiwano's boyfriend. That should count as being a relative, right? Could you please not let her know that I paid for it? Otherwise, she will feel uneasy about it. The neighbor thought for a moment and smiled. This boy is quite nice. Kiwano. That girl has had a hard life. Having you around is a bit of a blessing for her. I went alone to swipe my card, paying off all of her mother's recent expenses. Standing outside the ward door, I reached out to push it open several times, but every time my hand extended, I silently pulled it back. Feeling that the timing was not right, I was also afraid her mother was in a terrible state. It would be agonizing for Sukiwano to see. I was incredibly conflicted. By the time I paced my 10th lap, I furrowed my brow, pulled out my phone, and dialed old Lou's number. He was my family's private doctor, and also a close friend of the original owner's biological mother. He had considerable influence in major hospitals. Even though I knew exactly what the original ending was, I still wanted to put up a fight, just so I would not have any regrets. I could not even tell if I was trying to win Sukiwano over, or simply wanted to comfort this pitiful villain. The phone rang for a long time. I knew it was rude to wake someone up in the middle of the night, but there was a genuine reason for it. Calling in the VIP medical favors for the Yandere's mom. The protagonist is fully committed now.
Daughter!
Liu did not sound groggy or angry when he picked up. He asked patiently, Xiao Fei, is something wrong?
Daughter!
Liu, do you know anyone at Jiangcheng Traditional Chinese Medicine Hospital who is a highly skilled neurologist?
Daughter!
Liu's sleepiness vanished in an instant. He asked hurriedly. Neurologist. Did you get into a fight and damage your brain? Or did you crack someone else's skull? Are you at the TCM hospital right now? Wait for me. I will be right there. I did not get into a fight. My mouth twitched. This, Dr. Liu was great in every way, except that he always acted so rashly. He absolutely did not act like a meticulous, careful doctor. I sat on the bench outside the ward. At night, there was hardly anyone around. With the AC blasting, the atmosphere felt a bit eerie. The door creaked open. I turned my head and saw Sukiwano's haggard face. How is Auntie doing? Sukiwano did not speak, feeling around in her pockets. She pulled out a few crumpled bills amounting to a few dozen yuan. I scratched my head. Lowering my voice, I said, do not get mad when I tell you this. Sukiwano slowly raised her head. Her eyes held a chilling coldness. It is fine. Whatever decision you make, I won't blame you. I just looked at the scans and the diagnosis. The prognosis is highly likely to be bad. If you want to leave, then go. I froze for a moment, then pulled her forcefully into my embrace. I am not leaving. What I wanted to say was, I took the liberty of covering the medical bills. I never intended to leave you. We will face this together. We will get through it eventually. Sukiwano wanted to cry. When she was beaten to the point of agonizing pain, she never shed a single tear. But in this moment, her hands trembled as she hugged me back. I am so tired. The emotional dam breaks. The Yandere finally shows her fragile side. This is peak character progression. Why does it always have to be like this? I just wanted a quiet life. What did I do wrong? She looked utterly devastated. Even her voice was trembling. I gently patted her back. Do not cry. Please do not cry. I was not good at comforting people. The moment Dr. Liu arrived, he witnessed this exact scene. He stood holding the medical records, watching for a long time, frowning deeply. He recognized this girl. How did they end up hugging each other so quickly? Had he actually damaged the poor girl's brain? I turned my head and met Dr. Liu's amused, intrigued gaze, my face flushed red. Sukiwano followed my line of sight. Realizing this doctor had a close relationship with me, she took 2 steps back. I proactively stepped up to stand beside her.
Daughter.
Liu, let me introduce you. This is my girlfriend.
Daughter.
Liu raised an eyebrow. He definitely damaged his brain. What happened? I asked Sukiwano to go get the diagnosis and the CT scans. Sitting on the bench with Dr. Liu, I explained, my girlfriend's mother has a tumor in her brain. I wanted to ask you, Dr. Liu, do you know any top-tier specialists? Could you help get in touch with them? It is just her mom. Since when do you do good deeds?
Daughter.
Liu's words carried a hint of teasing. This child falls in love and it seems even the hardships are shared. Sukiwano brought the items over.
Daughter.
Liu looked at them and furrowed his brows. Remaining silent without saying a word, the atmosphere grew colder and colder. I swallowed hard. In the original setting, Sukiwano's mother indeed died. But I wondered, if I utilized all the connections I had to find a top-tier doctor for her, would there be a turning point? Transmigrator logic if I can cheat death? Surely I can cheat the plot's tragic backstory too. For example, I was supposed to be dead, but was not I standing right here now? Let us wait until tomorrow. It is very late today. I will do my best to help. I have a friend in the US who specializes in neurology. I will contact him and see if it is possible. I can't say there's a lot of hope. This tumor has been sitting in her brain for a long time. The risks are incredibly high. We will discuss the details when the time comes. I accompanied Sukiwano, huddled together on the narrow bench. The doctors took her mother through test after test. Years of grinding hardship had already reduced the once warm woman to a half-dead state. My recommendation is that you transfer to another hospital, the doctor stated bluntly after their consultation. The surgical risks are simply too high. Our hospital lacks the specialized technical personnel for this. I suggest going to Shanghai. They have the best doctors there. However, this will require a craniotomy and chemotherapy. The medical expenses. There is no need to worry about the medical expenses. Please, just help us contact the right people. I agreed without hesitation. Sukiwano took a deep breath, keeping her head down, lost in thought. She had originally moved here from Shanghai, precisely to get far away from the Su family. If we went back now, we would start walking right back into the original plotline. Ah, the inescapable gravity of the plot. You can run to Zhangcheng, but Shanghai always calls you back, which was the plotline I wanted to avoid the most. In the original book, because of this very issue, Sukiwano knelt in front of the Su family's gates, enduring endless humiliation, just to scrape together the surgery fee. And in the end, her mother still died on the operating table. What if we do not go to Shanghai? I asked Dr. Liu. I dialed his number once again. This time, Dr. Liu answered quickly. I have asked around for you too. This surgery can be done, but Zhangcheng's equipment is not advanced enough to support it. You absolutely must go to Shanghai. He was very close to me. Sukiwano naturally overheard the conversation. Go. We must go.
Daughter.
Liu had arranged everything perfectly, except for own missing link. He needed to get my dad's approval. He did not dare act entirely on my whims. I did not have the guts to tell Sukiwano this, so I made an excuse to go to the restroom. Sukiwano's mother had actually woken up a while ago, watching me leave. She opened her eyes and softly called out, Kiwano. Mom, do not worry. It is not a big problem. We will go to Shanghai and be back very soon. Do not hide it from me. I heard everything.
I have something I want to say to you.
My daughter has grown up. You are so beautiful. A tear slipped from the corner of her eye. The tragic mother deathbed speech. A guaranteed tearjerker, but devastating for the Yandere's mental state. Mom just had a dream. I dreamt of when you were little. Even back then, you were different from other kids. You never cried or fussed. You would just smile whenever you saw me. Back then, I thought to myself, having you in this lifetime made everything completely worth it. That boy, I can tell. He really likes you and treats you well. You must remember that. You have to pay him back in the future. And treat him well too. Mom has no regrets in this life. Mom does not want to get treatment anymore. I figure I still have a few months left to live. I can help save up a bit more money for you, so that the boy's family won't look down on you in the future. I have a way. And I will pay back Xiao Cherimoya's money too. We are going to Shanghai, and you're just going to focus on getting better. Okay. I stood in the hospital stairwell scratching at the wall. My dad was somewhat surprised to receive my call. How could he not care about his own flesh and blood? But the moment he spoke, his voice was ice cold. What is it? Are you short on money again? If you have had enough fun out there, hurry up and get your ass back home. Dad, I want to invite you to watch a good show. As payment, please save Sukiwano's mother. Host, are you sure you want to do this? This is not a game. The subsequent plotline will become wildly uncontrollable. I knew the consequences clearly. After entering the restaurant at 12 of the clock, a waiter carrying a tray will trip and fall the protagonist, deploying literal clairvoyance to impress his dad. a highly risky, high-reward maneuver, onto the floor. The cashier at the front desk will suddenly burst into maniacal laughter while looking at Leung Mo. At that moment, an old man wearing glasses will walk right past you.
What?
What is going on here? My dad stood frozen in place. Everything I had told him over the phone was coming true. Own by own. In that single second, a multitude of possibilities flashed through his mind. His eyes darkened. Xiao Shiramoya, did you really need to play these kinds of tricks to deceive me? The money you spent hiring these actors came straight out of my pocket. Right now, go outside the restaurant and look at the rain. My dad walked outside the restaurant. Looking up at the cloudless, clear blue sky, a trace of resentment welled up in his heart. Rain my ass. It has not rained in Jiangcheng for half a month. Do you think I do not check the weather forecast? Suddenly, dark clouds gathered, and rain poured down like a waterfall. It happened in an instant. The hand holding the phone trembled. His eyes were filled with absolute disbelief. The expression on his face froze in that very moment. The corners of my mouth curled up. In the original text, Jiangcheng, which had not seen rain for half a month, would experience 3 consecutive days of heavy downpours starting today. Using weather lore to prove your superpowers. Weather apps hate this own simple trick. The major turning point of the entire novel also began during these few days. Dad, I believe you're a smart man. I swallowed the joke I was about to make. You really have the ability to foresee the future. Then foresee the future for me right now. Tell me, will I end up helping you in the end? My dad's lips curled into a playful smirk. My expression tightened. Then, with unwavering certainty, I said, you will. You definitely will. Haha, you brat. Take care of yourself. Dad has some business to attend to. I'm hanging up. In reality, my dad did not care at all about how much power this supposed ability to foresee the future brought him. He did not even care whether what I said was true or false. Saving a person was just a matter of saying the word. After all, I was his biological son. Watching her retreating figure, a look of excitement flashed in my eyes. I hurriedly dialed Dr. Liu's number. I have asked my dad for his permission. He has already agreed. You can proceed with the hospital transfer. After saying that, I hung up the phone. Cold sweat beaded on my forehead. My previously excited expression gradually stiffened. The strength in my body was completely drained. The consequences of altering the plot. Extreme physical backlash. Hope the dramatic reveal was worth it. With a heavy thud, I collapsed to the ground, my head slamming hard against the floor. I simply could not hold on any longer. Ever since I started altering these events, this agonizing pain had been continuously stacking up.
Daughter!
Liu arranged a private jet for the mother and daughter. Suki Wano did not see me the entire way to Shanghai. Texts went unanswered. Calls went to voicemail. After receiving a phone call, Dr. Liu looked at Suki Wano with a grave expression. I'm sorry. I cannot accompany you to Shanghai.
My assistant
Will handle all the arrangements for you on my behalf.
Daughter!
Liu spoke in a rush, ready to leave immediately. Suki Wano pursed her lips and asked, I wanted to ask, where is Xiao Chiramoya? Is he not coming?
Daughter!
Liu's expression was stern and calm. He has some matters to attend to.
Daughter!
Liu's eyes held a complex emotion. My dad had just called him back in an absolute panic, saying that something had gone terribly wrong with me. He sped all the way back, worried sick about me the entire time. Suki Wano let out a sigh. It was better if he did not go. If she ran into the Su family, her humiliation would be completely exposed in front of Xiao Chiramoya. It was her pride acting up. The Yandere's pride, preferring isolation over showing weakness to her stalker-turned-boyfriend. She did not want to tear open all her wounds for me to see. After losing consciousness, I arrived in the system's holding space. I lounged in the chair with practiced ease, reaching out to grab an apple. Plot deviation at 30%. Tell me, which of my organs did you fry with electricity this time? Host, you are simply far too impatient. I do not regret it. I do not think there is anything wrong with what I did. Your mission time has been shortened by 6 months. There is nothing bad about that. If the mission proceeded step by step, I would have to stay in this world for 3 years. That is a terrifyingly long time. So long that it is impossible to predict what might happen in the future. I'm ready to wake up. What was the minimum requirement for completing an S-rank mission again? Dark turn meter at 0%. Affection level at 50%. This will achieve a cumulative clear. I slowly regained consciousness in the real world, instantly hearing my dad's roaring voice. What are you talking about? How could my son possibly have heart failure? The terminal illness trope strikes the protagonist. The melodrama has reached critical mass. Xiao, please calm down. Watching this chaotic scene, I cleared my throat. Dad. My dad's body went stiff. He never would have imagined that his arrogant, domineering son was actually so fragile that a single misstep would put him beyond saving. He was not used to speaking affectionate words, so he asked with a cold face, "How is your body feeling?" "I'm doing okay. I just heard heart failure. Am I going to die?" "Do not speak nonsense. It is nothing serious. Just focus on resting and recovering. Do not worry about anything else. I want to talk to you. My dad instinctively did not want to talk to me about anything. I seemed to have changed. Yet, it also seemed like nothing had changed. Has Sukiwano left at a time like this? Why are you still thinking about that girl? Actually, Kiwano is a very good person. As good as mom was, what is so great about her that makes you go to such lengths? Because I came here, specifically for her, I said silently in my heart. Even if you do not like Lu Rambutan, there are plenty of others, but none of those others are Sukiwano. I made her feel guilty and disgusted with herself. She saw the shadows of certain people in me. She absolutely hated that feeling. The protagonist realizes his saving tactics mirrored the abusers from her past. A moment of chilling self-reflection. I do not agree to this. You know what her family's background is like? You have an arranged marriage with the Leo family's child. Do you have any idea how much profit is tied up in that? If you unilaterally tear up that agreement, do you know how massive my losses will be? Living without money is not a good life. Your father knows this from deep personal experience. Is that the reason you deceived my mom? My words angered my dad enough to make him choke. I told you, your mom's death was an accident. Money can be earned again. But there's only Oen Sukiwano. I probably do not have many days left to live anyway. So even if I do not have money in the future, it does not matter. Compared to money, I want to be with her much more. My eyes brimmed with tears. I know you do not like me, Dad, but please, do not oppose her. Help her out, okay? Is not she poor? I will give her a sum of money. That is not what I want. After this, that sentence caused a surge of electricity to shoot straight through my entire body. The pain was so intense that sweat broke out on my forehead. I collapsed and blacked out. I am Xiao Cheramoya's father. May I ask why you're calling? Have you received the money? Sukiwano's heart dropped. The classic here is a check, leave my son scenario. But this time, it is for medical bills. The moral dilemma is real. She had already prepared herself for this. It was either choose her mother or choose Xiao Cheramoya. This choice left a bitter taste in her mouth. I have received it. Is your mother doing okay? She is undergoing examinations. Sukiwano was in extremely low spirits. My dad, in order to make her break up with me, directly wired 2 million yuan. That money was something Xiao Fei begged me to give you. In his office, my dad irritably crushed his cigarette into the ashtray. Xiao Fei likes you. The reason I gave you this money, aside from helping you save your mother, is because there is one thing I want you to promise me. Sukiwano remained silent. What was bound to come would eventually arrive. I want you to write me a guarantee that no matter what happens in the future, you will absolutely never abandon Xiao Fei. If you harbor any ulterior motives, I have 10,000 ways to make you wish you were dead. Thank you, uncle. I naively believed that I had already reversed everything, but I still could not defeat the cruel mockery of fate. Warning. Hidden plotline emerging. I stared blankly at the system prompt, my expression gradually stiffening, and hastily sprinted downstairs. If you only view my son as a temporary plaything plot twist, the rich dad actually supports the relationship because his son is dying. A rare subversion of the trope, or someone to easily discard. I won't take this money back, but I hope you never bother him again. My son was diagnosed with heart failure, but even if he dies, his inheritance will not go to you. Sukiwano's smile slowly faded. What happened to Xiao Cheramoya? She simply could not comprehend it. The boy who was always smiling and joking by her side just got sick out of nowhere. What had happened? Sukiwano's chest felt incredibly tight, suffocatingly uncomfortable. She clutched the corner of her shirt, her eyes burning with unshed tears. I hope you can keep your word. After saying that, my dad hung up the phone. Sukiwano felt her body go limp. She slumped onto the bench, staring blankly at the wall opposite her. After a long time, she signed the risk consent form. There was only a 30% chance. The hope was incredibly slim. Sukiwano felt that she had no choices when she was young, and even now that she was older, she still had none. She was gambling on every single thing, and now the stakes were even higher, gambling with a human life. The lead surgeon was a doctor who had rushed back from abroad. In Shanghai, they were treated as super VIPs, receiving the best possible treatment wherever they went. Sukiwano grew increasingly silent, often spacing out alone. Thinking back and forth, the person she thought about most was Xiao Cheramoya. How arrogant and domineering he used to be back then, beating up anyone he found displeasing. Sukiwano let out a soft laugh. She had hated me so much back then, but looking back now, she deeply loved the way I was. The Yandere realizes she misses her bully, turned simp. The Stockholm Syndrome has evolved into true love. Sukiwano had asked the doctors here about the details surrounding heart failure. From now on, I would lose the ability to run and jump. I would even lose the right to lose my temper, relegated to being a fragile glass doll, remaining perpetually calm and undisturbed. Sukiwano sat on the chair in the corridor. The air was thick with the pungent smell of disinfectant. The IV drip counted down the time, drop by drop, second by second. Her mother lay on the gurney, her eyes devoid of focus. For the first time, she felt the hospital corridor was so terrifying, stretching on with no end in sight. She could only stare at the pale gray ceiling extending forward. It was so oppressive it made her suffocate. Reflecting on her arduous, bumpy life, it seemed like she had not had time to accomplish anything. Before having to hastily bring her life to an end, she had a premonition that if she fell asleep this time, she would never wake up again. I ran through the pouring rain. I was so tired, my mind was practically blank, leaving only the sound of my own rapid breathing. I must go back. Sukiwano needs me. I did not close my eyes once during the entire trip to Shanghai. I dialed Sukiwano's number over and over again, but the call never connected. At 6:00 a.m., when I finally stood still at Shanghai First Central Hospital, I was already too exhausted to speak, forcing myself to keep going. I walked towards the ward doctor Liu had told me about. I quietly turned the door handle and looked inside, only to see Sukiwano curled up, staring fixedly at the foot of the bed, looking at me blankly. I am late. I forced those words out with great difficulty. Seeing me, Sukiwano offered a very strained smile. My mom is gone. The protagonist arrives too late. The tragic backstory is completed. Prepare for maximum Yandere dark turn. She is never coming back. Before she could even finish, I lunged forward and pulled her into a tight embrace. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. A profound atmosphere of grief permeated the small room. Along the entire journey here, I had told myself countless times to be strong. Otherwise, what would happen to Sukiwano? I sobbed silently, unable to form words. Sukiwano's eyes were bloodshot. Staring at the side of my face, she asked, "Did you sneak out of the hospital?" Xiao Shiramoya, you need to take good care of yourself. You are sick. Get a good sleep. Dark turn meter at 100%. When the doctor came out of the operating room, he had even worn a smile as he congratulated her. But not long after he left, her mother was issued a critical condition notice. By the time they tried to save her, it was already too late. I was simply far too exhausted, to the point where I completely failed to hear the system's explosive warning sirens. When I finally woke up, the message box in my mind was about to explode. During that time, Sukiwano had personally gone to find Su Cheng. She wanted Su Cheng to see her mother own last time. After all, he was the man her mother loved the most, the person she had not wanted to disturb even in death. Over these years, Su Cheng had been kept firmly under the thumb of the wealthy heiress Li Wanwan, so occasionally he would think back to that mother and daughter. He did feel guilt, but he did not dare seek out Sukiwano. It just so happened that Li Wanwan was not around, so he followed her to the hospital, right up until she died. My mom still could not forget you. I do not want you to be unaware of this. The Yandere delivers the guilt trip of a lifetime to her deadbeat dad. Cold, calculated, and devastating. Now that you have seen her for the last time,
I'm going back to Zhangcheng.
this will also be the last time we, as father and daughter, ever meet. Hurry back. I have not told anyone else about this. I'm tired. I'm leaving now. Kiwano. I'm sorry. The moment she walked out the door, she saw me standing at the entrance to the morgue. Was the man inside your father? No. My dad died a long time ago. I stood by her side, watching her handle her mother's funeral all by herself. She did not take her mother back to Zhangcheng as she had told Su Cheng. Instead, using the money my dad had given her, she bought a plot in a public cemetery. On the day of the burial, the rain was a light drizzle, falling in thin, continuous threads, as if it was the world's final trace of pity for us. I watched as she grabbed a handful of dirt from the grave, placed it into a small bag, and tucked it into her pocket. She will be back very soon. Based on how things were looking right now, she was probably going to follow the original plotline. Most likely, in the original setting, Sukiwano stayed in Shanghai for an entire month. During this month, she would find a way to get close to Li Wanwan's daughter, planting the seeds of karma, waiting a whole year to finally pull the net tight. The master revenge plan is set into motion. The Yandere is playing the long game. Are we going back to Zhangcheng? Sukiwano's hand felt chillingly cold. She wanted to reach out and hold my hand, but felt her hand was too dirty. Afraid of dirtying me too, so she obediently lowered it, remaining silent. The two of us walked through the public cemetery, with absolutely no one else around besides us. This was probably the most desolate, tragic funeral I had ever attended. Bar none, I knew the original plotline had still been altered. Unable to grasp the full picture, I could only quietly observe how things unfolded. Sukiwano, you have to believe that there are people in this world who will do anything for you. Those words sounded incredibly ethereal, causing a trace of fear to rise within Sukiwano. She did not understand the root of this emotion either. Your illness. I'm fine. I am perfectly fine. Did not you say you would live a long life with me and give me a good outcome? Sukiwano's words carried so much grievance. Seeing her like this, my body trembled uncontrollably, not to mention the fact that I could not spend my entire life here with Sukiwano. Now it looked like we would not even get a good outcome. I remained silent for a long time. Sukiwano watched the rainwater slip through her fingers, leaving behind only faint tear-like streaks. She could not hold on to the water, and she could not hold on to anyone. You promised me. You have to keep your word. I only have you now. After returning from Shanghai, I tossed and turned on the hospital bed, spending my days constantly trying to come up with a strategy. I had successfully made her fall in love with me, but the dark turn meter had not decreased in the slightest. I only had 6 months left. The ticking clock element, 6 months to cure a terminal illness and de-radicalize a Yandere. Easy peasy. I absolutely would not last long enough for Sukiwano to meticulously execute her revenge plan. I furrowed my brow. I absolutely would not allow Sukiwano to fall into the abyss. Once you fall down there, there is no chance of ever turning back to the shore. The system seemed to sense my thoughts, hastily trying to stop me. Host, please think twice. Since Sukiwano insists on doing these things, then why can't I do them for her? If I become the ultimate villain, she won't have to be the villain anymore. This is also a form of salvation. A bold idea formed in my mind. Sukiwano, I will bear your sins for you. I will make you leave forever. But if I ever catch you setting foot in Shanghai again, you will pay the price. That voice lingered in her ears like a demon, refusing to dissipate. Sukiwano jolted awake. All these years, she had never actively provoked anyone, always living humbly, just trying to survive. She never wanted to be an obstacle in anyone's path, but some people just found her an eyesore, constantly forcing her into a dead end. Ah, the classic force the protagonist's love interest into a corner so they snap trope. A tale as old as time. The doctor handed the x-ray films to her, saying that someone had unplugged her mother's life support equipment. An unknown substance had irritated the wound, causing an infection. Everyone present covered for each other, and the security cameras had conveniently malfunctioned. They refused to tell the truth, and they did not dare tell the truth. A profound sense of powerlessness took root in her heart, like invisible hands gripping her throat. Li Feijoa, the stupidest thing you did in your entire life was not killing me along with her.
I will come for you.
I lay in bed pondering a strategy. In the original book, Sukiwano approached Suyuzu, who happened to be the Su family's beloved only daughter, luring her step by step down into hell, until her reputation was ruined. She also hired someone to seduce Suaki, under the dual blow of her daughter being imprisoned and her husband's infidelity. Suaki's current wife, Li Feijoa, was driven to the brink of a breakdown. Well, ruining a family through seduction in prison is definitely own way to handle a grudge. Very subtle. However, what truly broke her was her husband committing suicide by drinking poison, leaving behind a will stating that Sukiwano would inherit all his shares. This will was actually written by Suaki himself. After discovering everything Li Feijoa had done to Sukiwano and her mother, he secretly drafted these documents, perhaps to ease his own conscience a bit. Based on these known conditions, I had to figure out a way to prevent Sukiwano from getting her hands dirty, but I also could not be the one to actively advance the plot. I racked my brains all night but could not come up with a single result, until my dad came over in the morning and found out that I had dragged my sick body out to look for Sukiwano. He was so angry, he gnashed his teeth, thinking he must have treated this son too harshly, seeing how easily someone else could lure me away with just a bit of sweetness. My dad arrived carrying a thermos of chicken soup. I smiled at him for the first time. He instantly knew nothing good would come of it. Dad, do you want to expand your business to Shanghai? My dad remained silent for a long time before finally saying adult matters. Kids should stay out of them. Sukiwano's mother is dead. I said this without a trace of emotion showing on my face. Ah, yes, the classic sociopathic stare of a transmigrator ready to ruin lives. So endearing, with a rationality that made even my dad feel a sense of unfamiliarity and fear. Suaki's wife, Li Feijoa, killed her. Guess what she wants to do most right now? She needs a knife. If I can help hand her that knife right now, she will peel a layer of skin off the Su family for me. If this knife is pointed at the Su family's only daughter, Suyuzu, guess what will happen? My dad stared blankly at me. Was this still his good-for-nothing slacker son? Did Sukiwano tell you this? How could she possibly tell me these things? If she taught you to say this, then she herself is a knife. How do you know she won't turn that knife on you? A person like that is simply too dangerous. You are my son. I won't let any harm come to you. I can't guarantee anything. It is just that I'm running out of time. I have already worked so hard up to this point. I do not want to return in failure. My dad actually thought this was a pretty good opportunity. It seemed he needed to arrange a meeting with Sukiwano. I was forced to stay in the hospital for over half a month. Sukiwano seemed to have gotten busy, rarely coming to visit. But every time I saw Sukiwano, I could feel the changes within her. It was as if in the very year her mother passed away, she suddenly grew up. Trauma accelerating maturity, the staple diet of every fictional antihero ever written. Before, she would occasionally throw out a sarcastic remark or two. Now, every time she visited, it was just a few polite greetings. If her affection level was not increasing every single day, I would seriously suspect that she was seeing someone else behind my back. I am being discharged tomorrow. What time are you free from class tomorrow? Let us head back to school together. I'm sorry. Suki Wano clenched her fists, looked at me, and offered a small smile. I have to make a trip to Shanghai tomorrow. What are you going to Shanghai for? I instantly furrowed my brow. I did not know how my dad had arranged things. Could he have made her do those unscrupulous things herself again? There is a bit of an issue on Suaki's end. He told me to come back. Do not worry. I can handle these things. Please do not get involved in this. Okay? I pursed my lips, offering no response. The path she chose, she had to walk it to the end, even if the road ahead was unpredictable. Suki Wano took my silence as silent agreement. Ah, silent agreement, the easiest way to sneak off and do exactly what you were told not to do. The moment she left, I called my dad. What did you say to Suki Wano? Honestly speaking, that kid is truly a promising talent. She handles things steadily, meticulously, and ruthlessly. She does not even show mercy when striking against her own biological father. Hearing this did not make me feel proud at all. It only sent a chilling shiver down my spine. Was Suki Wano still going down the original plot's path? You said you wanted me to hand her a knife. Well, I handed it to her.
What did you make her do?
Just dig up some dirt, that is all. Do not worry. After all, she is going to be my future daughter-in-law. If she does not cherish her own reputation, I certainly will. Are you being discharged today? Rest at home for a while. No need. I'm going back to school. I needed to stay one step ahead and head to Shanghai first, to do the things Suki Wano wanted to do. At the same time, I vaguely sensed that something was wrong. The Owen heading down a path of no return right now was not Suki Wano, it was me. Suki Wano pondered over it all night. No matter what she did, Xiao Cherimoya was the most important. She had been neglecting me far too much lately. Realizing you have ignored your stalker-turned-boyfriend is the first step to a healthy Yandere relationship. But that was only because she was afraid. Afraid to let me worry about her again, Suki Wano, carrying the snacks I loved, stopped by a flower shop to buy a bouquet on the way. She pushed open the door to my room, only to find it completely empty. By the time I answered Suki Wano's call, I had already arrived in Shanghai. Looking at the bustling traffic and the luxurious glitzy streets, I felt a bit dazed. Seeing the 42 missed calls from her, I knew that my whereabouts had already been guessed by Suki Wano. Where are you? Suki Wano was weaving through the Jiangcheng train station. The darkness in her eyes matched Jiangcheng's heavily clouded sky, looking as if it could wring out water at any moment. In Shanghai. What are you doing in Shanghai? Doing what you want to do. I know you did not want me to get involved in this, but I told you, only I am allowed to bully you. No one else. I will collect the debt the Su family owes you on your behalf. But can you promise me one thing? No matter what the outcome is in the future, please, love this world well. Just consider it a favor, given how much I have done for you. Please, why should I listen to you? Xiao Cherimoya, are you sick in the head? Did I ask you to do any of this? I am a human being. Ah, the classic, I did it for your own good, versus I never asked you to argument. A staple of melodramatic romance, not some useless pet you keep around. You know perfectly well this is my family's business. Who are you to me? What right do you have to interfere in this? Do you think you are incredibly badass, trying to control everything? Suki Wano's eyes were red, the corners of her mouth trembling. The call had already been hung up. Suki Wano boarded the train compartment. She leaned against the glass window. Her mind was filled with memories of the years we had known each other. He is different, from head to toe. Here are just far too many unbelievable things happening around him. Hearing Suki Wano's aggressive, pressing questions, I had already started to panic. Had I really made a mistake? I stood at the train station holding food, waiting for her. A long time passed without a sign of her. Standing there hour after hour, who knows what was going through her mind during that time? What are you doing? I am waiting for you. Are you tired from the train ride?
I bought you.
Do not speak to me right now. Suki Wano grabbed me and dragged me out of the platform area. Written all over that face were 4 massive words, I'm very angry. What if something happened to you? Running off to Shanghai all by yourself. Angry pacing while dragging the protagonist by the arm, the universal sign of true love. Suki Wano poked me hard in the forehead. I seriously do not know what is inside this head of yours. It is you. Suki Wano froze. I actively took her hand. Grinning cheekily, I said, my head is completely full of you. You still dare to joke around with me? Sukiwano noticed I was carrying portions of food for two. Her expression softened a fraction. You have not eaten yet. Yeah, I was waiting for you. If I had not come, were you just going to starve? Do not ever do this again. Okay, girlfriend? Sukiwano and I walked through Shanghai at night. The wind was warm and dry. Sukiwano followed behind me, hooking her pinky around my middle finger to prevent us from getting separated. I turned back to look at her. Our eyes met. The young girl's eyes still held a hint of moisture, looking somewhat dazed. Then she casually asked, what do you think I would come to Shanghai to do? Sukiwano was genuinely curious. I pondered for a moment and replied seriously, I was afraid you would seek revenge. Should not. I hate them. A completely rational question when your stepmother unplugs your mother's life support. Just saying. We live in a society governed by law now. There are many ways to deal with them. We can choose a slightly more gentle approach. Like what? I have not thought of it yet. Sukiwano's lips curved into a smile. A society governed by law. Your father asked me to go to the Su family to retrieve something for him. She reached out and wiped away the ice cream residue from the corner of my mouth. I was somewhat incredulous. She found it amusing and licked the ice cream off her finger. The ice cream is quite sweet. I was not being shy just now. I was genuinely worried. Was the Su family really that easy to infiltrate? Back then, Sukiwano had to kneel until her knees bled. That woman, Li Feijoa, had always been domineering. Even when Sukiwano was a child, Li Feijoa constantly found ways to torment her. Li Feijoa's actions were likely driven by deep insecurity. The motive behind her murdering Sukiwano's mother, I could easily deduce. It was nothing more than the fear of Suaki rekindling his old romance with her mother. But this action Sukiwano just did felt undeniably seductive. My face slowly turned red. I muttered troublemaker to Sukiwano. I do not know if she heard it or not. You're going back to Zhangcheng tomorrow. I'm not going back. It won't be that easy for the SU family to touch me. Famous last words before the plot inevitably puts the protagonist in mortal danger. I was exceptionally stubborn on this issue. Sukiwano stared at me for a long time. Why are you helping me like this? Sukiwano's gaze was complex. Xiao Shiramoya, I feel like you're hiding a lot of secrets. Every single sentence she spoke was enough to make my heart do 1,000 somersaults in place. It was too dangerous. This was a blatant probe. What secrets could I possibly have? Just let me stay in Shanghai. I promise I won't cause you any trouble.
Why?
Is it because you will die if you leave my side? Well, it is not quite that extreme. I just want to watch over you. Yai Salak is not here anyway. I was a bit surprised. Why mention him out of nowhere? Of course I knew that. He was still studying in Zhangcheng. How could he possibly appear in Shanghai? Sukiwano's thoughts shifted. Then what if he suddenly does appear here? My heart gave a jolt. Never mind. If you want to stay with me, then tag along. I booked a hotel room right near the Su family residence. Sukiwano clearly knew what I was up to but did not show it. Before leaving, she even leaned in and instructed, stay here and wait for me to come back, okay? Okay. I will wait and see how things unfold. Waiting quietly in a hotel room while the villain infiltrates a mansion. What could possibly go wrong? I really wanted to see what exactly she was planning to do. Originally, the system's peep function required spending points to use. I haggled extensively with the little assistant and managed to grind this feature out of them as compensation. From the moment Sukiwano left the hotel, her every move was fed directly into my mind. Playing out just like a movie, Sukiwano looked up toward the floor. I was on. In the visual feed, I met her gaze directly. My heart trembled. Even though I knew Sukiwano could not possibly detect the peep function, my heart raced wildly when our eyes met. Acting with a dull throb, she hailed a cab and headed for the Su residence. Along the way, staring at the skyscrapers outside the window, her mood was visibly depressed. What exactly is his goal? That was the question she had been constantly pondering lately. I always seemed to appear at precisely the right moments, acting without any discernible logic or pattern. At first, she simply assumed that I was just playing around, that it was not real, and that sooner or later I would abandon her. But I had not. I even exhibited near obsessive behaviors for her sake. Obsessive behavior from a transmigrator trying to avoid a gruesome death unheard of. Sukiwano pinched the bridge of her nose and let out a long sigh. Even after we had spent so much time together, she still did not understand. She completely failed to understand me. Sukiwano arrived alone at the Su family's luxurious villa. Compared to previous years, it had gained a weathered, worn feeling. She knocked on the Su family's grand doors. This was completely different from the original book. In the original story, Sukiwano approached Suyuzu first, the moment Suyuzu brought her to the family banquet. Li Feijoa's face in the original setting could only be described as a kaleidoscope of colors. But this time, Sukiwano went straight to their front door. During this brief yet agonizingly long minute of waiting, Sukiwano appeared entirely unbothered on the surface, but in reality her palms were slick with sweat. Lee Feijoa opened the door and froze upon seeing Sukiwano. "Who are you looking for?" "I'm looking for my dad." Sukiwano looked Lee Feijoa dead in the eye.
Long time no see.
"Auntie Feijoa, what is the matter? Back then when you and your mother left Shanghai, what exactly did you promise? And now you're going back on your word." "Yes," Sukiwano answered decisively. Nothing like an honest yes to completely derail an antagonist's prepared monologue, still wearing that gentle smile on her face. "Auntie Feijoa, no matter what you do, there is always a price to pay. Have you ever heard that saying? By the time I stumbled and crawled my way to the hospital, Sukiwano was still in the emergency room, yet to come out. There was absolutely no ON waiting outside the emergency room doors. I had made a special trip to Suaki's ward. He was protected very well by Sukiwano, only suffering some superficial flesh wounds. "Are any of Sukiwano's relatives here?" The doctor looked at the empty hallway, somewhat mistaken. It was probably his first time encountering a situation like this. I wiped away a tear and stood up. "Hello, I am Sukiwano's boyfriend. Is she doing okay now?" "The surgery was a success. We are in the process of wrapping things up. We need you to sign some paperwork." I glanced at it. It was the medical bill. I smoothly signed my name on it. Standing at the door, I waited until the operating light finally turned off. When Sukiwano was wheeled out, her eyes were still open. "Kiwano?" I hurriedly leaned in, wanting to hold her hand, but seeing her covered in wounds, I was afraid of accidentally hurting her. "Why are you here?" "Because waiting in a hotel room while you confront your abusers is not on the Transmigrated to-do list." "How are you feeling?" "I'm fine. Just a little dizzy. The patient is very weak right now and needs rest." The doctor reminded us, "Do not be afraid. I won't let anyone hurt you ever again." Sukiwano's life was far more precious than my own. Sukiwano suddenly reached out and grabbed onto me. Agitated, she said, "Do not go. Rest well." Sukiwano rarely ever saw my back. Whenever we walked together, I would always stay 2 steps behind. Following her, Sukiwano was always the one walking in front. As the elevator doors closed, the sight of my retreating figure growing further away through the gap left her feeling like she could not catch me. She could not catch me. This overwhelming sense of loss made her incredibly dizzy. Eventually, she fell into a deep sleep. I leaned against the wall in the corridor, deep in thought. Was it Lee Feijoa? No. Although she was accustomed to being overbearing and unforgiving, deep down she was still a woman. Her heart was fragile, even though she did not show it on the surface. Forcing herself to be strong all alone was already exhausting enough. Wow, suddenly psychoanalyzing the woman who unplugs life support. Empathy knows no bounds. Then who could it be? I pursed my lips. Whether Lee Feijoa had made a move against Sukiwano or not, she was going to have to take the blame for this. I suddenly craved candy. Even though I did not usually have this habit, I went and bought some, stuffing my pockets full of sweets. Waiting until the people in Suaki's ward had dispersed, I found an opening and slipped inside. "Hello." Suaki snapped back to reality, looking at the unfamiliar boy, wearing an utterly cold, detached expression on a youthful face. Putting on an act of maturity. "Your wife is trying to kill you." Suaki furrowed his brows. It was not that. He had not considered this possibility. Because of Sukiwano's arrival, his relationship with Lee Feijoa had already reached a freezing point, teetering on the edge, combined with 1924. The reason he had not gone to check on Sukiwano until now was precisely because he was terrified Lee Feijoa might actually do something drastic. "You can't just spout nonsense like that. Who are you? You want to see the evidence? Wait here. I will go get the evidence for you. Our meeting is a secret." Nothing screams trustworthy informant like a random teenager sneaking into your hospital room with candy in his pockets. She messed with someone she should not have. Even if you do not do anything, I won't let her get away with it. After I left, Suaki was lost in deep thought. Who was this person she should not have messed with? And who was this person standing in front of him just now? I wandered aimlessly around the hospital. The system asked in bewilderment what I was thinking about. Things have already derailed from the original plot. Check Sukiwano's dark turn meter for me. Villain's dark turn meter is at 70. Do you know why humans possess the emotion of hatred? My little system assistant, lacking complex thought processes, did not understand and could only ask blankly, why? Because of encountering prejudice, because of utter powerlessness, because of sheer unwillingness to accept defeat. Even though I do not understand how your system defines this dark turn meter, I do not think Sukiwano's state is a dark turn. These are just the normal emotions any ordinary person would have, expecting her to live a peaceful, quiet life under these circumstances, and just be a good person if near-death experiences do not justify a little villainy. What does? Forget Sukiwano. Even if it were me, I would go crazy too. So the host intends to... I looked utterly lost. After all, Sukiwano's track record in the original book was full of atrocities, so I did not dare gamble on it. I was terrified she would still walk down her original path. What others owe her, I will collect for her. When she is powerless, I will hand her the knife. When she is unwilling to accept defeat, I will fill that void for her. I refuse to believe she can still turn dark with all this. She might not turn dark, but you have turned dark, the system remarked faintly. It knew its host, rarely acted according to common sense. I had said I would find evidence, but I did not make a single move. Whenever there was no ON around, I would sneak into Sukiwano's room to take care of her. This time I was genuinely discussing things with Sukiwano. The culprit really was sent by Lifijoa. I furrowed my brow. She is that ruthless. Sukiwano offered a small smile, but she only wanted to scare me a little. Nothing says just a scare, quite like hiring an assassin to put you in the ICU. I was the Owen who negotiated with the attacker, told him to strike harder, make it look more real. I gasped in shock.
Do you have any idea that you almost died?
No matter what happens, you can never use harming yourself as a means to achieve a goal. However, this was the easiest way to gain Suaki's trust, since Li Feijoa was indeed the Owen behind this. There is a paper trail to follow. I can pin the blame entirely on her head. Sukiwano stared right into my eyes. I reached out and rubbed her head. Over the past few days, Suaki had indeed begun investigating Li Feijoa. That baffling, strange boy never showed up again. Lying in his hospital bed, Suaki felt a chilling dread seep into his very bones. Li Feijoa brought him some soup she had made. He did not drink a single drop, afraid that woman had poisoned him. When Li Feijoa heard about this incident, she was actually quite panicked. Although the car was found to have brake failure, and the driver kept his mouth firmly shut, she never expected those people to act with such a lack of restraint. You should go back. Suaki let out a heavy sigh. He had tolerated Li Feijoa for far too long. He was genuinely exhausted. Whenever Suaki looked at her, he felt as though his head was suspended in mid-air, never knowing when the family would fall apart. After Li Feijoa left, Suaki initiated his plan. Since she was willing to strike so ruthlessly, then she could not blame him for disregarding their past affection, and I truly did not expect the plot to progress this rapidly. When I saw the conglomerate's news hit the headlines, I was utterly dumbfounded. Kiwano, look at this. Stock prices plummeting, marriage falling apart, and right there starkly displayed was Li Feijoa in heavily censored compromising photos, caught in an absurdly scandalous position. Ah, the classic corporate takedown via scandalous photos. A trope as old as time, but highly effective. The comment section below was even more chaotic. I clicked my tongue, looking worried. You did not do this, did you? We are glued together 24 hours a day. Where would I find the time to do that? So it was Suaki. The next step is probably a public falling out. After being married for so many years, how could he possibly leak this kind of news about his own wife, just to expose her, for the good of the company? Sign this agreement. Suaki, you are an ungrateful bastard. I should have let that car kill you. You admit it? I have tolerated you for far too long. What did her mother ever do wrong? For you to take her life? Think about it carefully, you son of a bitch. I have been with you for so many years. When have you ever truly cared about me? You even hid her photo under the damn bed. Have you no shame? Suaki, let me tell you, you are the Owen who killed her. It was your indecisiveness and infidelity. Back then, you promised to love me for the rest of your life. Is this how you love me? You lunatic. You are an absolute lunatic. Sign the agreement. I have already done more than enough for you. The Su family drama had finally reached its boiling point, and all of this was not even Sukiwano's doing. Yet, I did not feel happy about it at all. Starting from this night, the plot officially entered its countdown phase. A strange emotion welled up in my heart. I did not know if it was guilt or reluctance to part. When love begins, the countdown to sorrow also starts. The angst is real. The countdown to tragedy always runs parallel to the romance in these novels. In the next couple of days, I will go to the company and get what your father wants, and bring it to you. My tone was somewhat detached. Actually, you do not need to. You know what my dad is planning? He just wants to ruin Suaki's company, and use that as an opportunity to expand into Shanghai. Do not you want power and money? Right now, the Su family is a complete mess. If we push a little harder, I have a way. Before I could finish, the words caught in my throat, because Sukiwano was looking at me, with an obscure, unreadable emotion in her eyes. I have never wanted those things. Sukiwano said flatly, I have never considered myself a part of the Su family either. Or maybe, Sukiwano's tone grew gradually more pressing. You knew from the very beginning that I was a Su, and that is why you treated me so well. You want the Su family? I hurriedly looked away. I did not mean it like that. I just thought, if you wanted it, I would fight for it for you. The classic I will conquer the world for you trope backfiring spectacularly because she just wants therapy. I realized I had messed up again. I seemed far too fixated on the original plotline. Constantly trying to push her back onto her predetermined path. Was power and authority really all she wanted back then? But I had no other choice. I lowered my head and offered no response. Once I left, Suki Wano would be left entirely alone again, with no Own to rely on. The mere thought of it filled me with intense anxiety. Have you ever heard the saying, besides yourself? No Own can stay with you until the very end. Suki Wano's movements halted. She suddenly grew angry. What do you mean by that? What I mean is, life is full of unexpected events. Forget it. If you do not want it, then we do not need it. As long as you're happy. Xiao Chiramoya, I told you I hate it when you hide things from me. Suki Wano did not let go of my hand. Instead, her grip tightened. If you have something to say, just say it. I will do whatever you want me to. But please, can you stop acting like you're about to leave me at any moment? My wrist hurt from her grip. Suki Wano's chest was full of pent-up frustration, but faced with my passive expression, she finally softened. Her voice carried a pleading tone. Her eyes grew red-rimmed. She said with deep grievance, I'm sorry. The Yandere breaking down into tears. A rare and highly effective emotional manipulation tactic. I'm just really scared. I do not know why I'm acting like this either. If there's something you do not like, I can change. No. I reached out and wrapped my arm around her shoulder. You do not need to change a thing. I won't say those things ever again. You wanted me to study medicine? Right? I will retake the exams this year and switch to medicine. I will study hard. Just wait for me. I still want to live a long, long life with you. Okay?
Please.
Seeing Suki Wano looking like a child terrified of losing a favorite toy, I forced myself to harden my heart against my conscience. Then you must live a good life. I like kind, pure-hearted people. Suki Wano's expression froze. Pure and kind-hearted. Suki Wano did not really know what kind of people those were, but as long as I liked it, she would learn to be Owen. Suki Wano's methods were highly effective. Suaki trusted her deeply. She easily gained access to Suaki's office, and when Suaki left the room, she plugged a flash drive into his computer. The classic USB drive data theft. A cornerstone of modern corporate espionage plots. All of Li Feizhou's dirty secrets were dragged into the light. On the day of the trial, Suki Wano secretly went to watch. That woman had become incredibly haggard. The truth about her mother's death was not revealed. The focus of this trial was another dark secret dug up by the reporters. Another Owen of Suaki's romantic debts. That girl, 7 months pregnant, died on the operating table. The method and execution were almost identical. Let us go. Hearing Li Feizhou being sentenced, I took Suki Wano's hand. No matter what, she got the retribution she deserved. The law will never let a bad person off the hook. Suki Wano remained silent. I walked out of the lobby and stretched my arms. The next second, I was enveloped in a hug by Suki Wano.
Thank you.
Dark turn meter at 30. You should thank yourself too. My eyes curved into a smile. Life was so hard before, but you survived it. I reached out and ruffled her messy hair. You have worked hard. And I should also thank Suki Wano for not killing me. Thanking the Yandere for sparing your life. A very low bar for gratitude. But we take those. Thank her for giving me the chance to complete my mission. I lifted my phone and called my dad. Dad, it is over. Did you get everything you wanted? Thank you, son.
Thank you.
My son. My dad got exactly what he wanted and publicly announced Suki Wano's status at a gathering, presenting her as my fiancé, and promising that, upon our college graduation, he would host a wedding for us. That very same night, the Su Corporation plunged into a massive crisis. There was simply far too much illicit information on Suaki's computer. My dad used all the damning evidence he had on Suaki, as leverage to establish his own foothold in Shanghai. Suki Wano remained entirely indifferent upon hearing that her father had been imprisoned for tax evasion and bribing officials, not showing a shred of emotion. Even when told that Suaki wanted to see her, she remained completely unmoved. Suki Wano pouted, watching me eat a popsicle. Have not you been eating way too many popsicles lately? My body went rigid. Since I was about to leave this mission soon, I wanted to enjoy myself as much as possible. After all, I had no idea what my reality looked like anymore. This rich second-generation identity was pretty great. The Transmigrator finally realizing the perks of infinite wealth right before leaving. Tragic timing. I could still squander things away playing the part of a spoiled heir. If I want to eat, I will eat. Suki Wano snatched the popsicle away from me and took a bite. If you want Owen, we can go buy another. No. You cannot eat too much cold food. You have heart failure. If you won't take care of yourself, I will do it for you. Suki Wano's cheeks shivered from the cold. Her dark turn meter was hovering around 5. I really did not understand what crucial plot point was left that could cause her to turn dark again. Logically speaking, the people she was meant to take revenge on had already met their deserved ends. I'm planning to process my withdrawal from school recently. Why did you forget I'm going to study medicine? Suki Wano pinched my cheek lightly. Although there are doctors everywhere, I do not trust them to treat you. There is no need for that. I want you to study something you actually like. What you want is exactly what I like. Sukiwano's application to withdraw from the university filled her advisors with deep regret, but no one could change her mind. I rented an apartment nearby. Every day when I came back from class, I would see Sukiwano. If she was not grinding through Gokao practice tests, she was reading medical books. Days passed by, one after another, and I still had not seen her dark turn meter hit 0. What obsession did she still cling to? The final 5% is always the hardest. It is the boss battle of emotional trauma. I could only lie in bed, tossing and turning, analyzing the original plotline over and over. Reaching this stalemate was incredibly frustrating, seeing that 3 months of the 6-month time limit had already passed. What do you want to eat for lunch? You are so domestic. I reached out and wrapped my arms around her waist. Make whatever you want. I love everything you cook. Sukiwano let out a soft laugh. I will wait for you to come home. Spending time with her. The phrase old married couple constantly came to mind. I waved goodbye to her and stepped into the elevator. Whenever I thought about Sukiwano becoming my wife in the future, Sukiwano, a strange mix of wonder and fear would well up inside me. As soon as classes ended, I went to the supermarket. It looked like it was going to rain today. While strolling through the aisles, I suddenly heard people arguing nearby. I just cast a casual glance over but instantly froze. That man looked incredibly familiar. It was the very thug who had assaulted Sukiwano's mother all those years ago. Back then, he acted as if he owned the sky and the earth. But I did not recall Sukiwano ever getting anyone to take revenge on him. Could it be that Sukiwano's remaining dark turn meter was entirely tied to this man? The man was arguing with a store clerk. I pretended nothing was wrong and wandered nearby, stealthily listening in on their mundane conversation. I grabbed a few random items, and when I saw the man leaving, I immediately followed him. After paying, holding my small bag of groceries, I quietly tailed him. The man got into a car, so I instructed my family's driver to follow closely behind. The man took countless twists and turns before arriving at a dilapidated, single-story house. I did not know what was happening inside, but the sound of a woman wailing soon drifted out. The protagonist accidentally stumbles into a domestic violence side quest. Time to play hero again, accompanied by the crashing and smashing of objects. I made a split-second decision and dialed 110. Hello, police. There is a fight breaking out here. A man is chasing a woman and beating her. He is going to beat her to death. 74 Qingjiang Road. That woman looks like she won't make it. After doing this, I had the driver park the car in a secluded corner, waiting there until the police arrived. Before long, the man was escorted out. I quickly snapped a photo, thinking I would show off to Sukiwano with this later. The moment that dark turn meter hit 0, I could officially apply to leave this world. Sukiwano had double-checked my class schedule twice already. I was 2 hours later than my usual return time. She furrowed her brow. Just as she was about to make a call, she heard movement at the door. The food had already gone cold. I did not care in the slightest. I snuck into the kitchen, hastily scarfed down 2 bites, and bounded over to her. While I was on my way back, I saw something really interesting. Look at this. Sukiwano sighed, looking somewhat exasperated. Then why did not you let me know you would be late? I thought something bad had happened to you.
What could possibly happen to me?
I thought she was acting a bit strange. Casting a glance at her, I pulled out my phone. I saw a man beating his wife earlier, so I called the police. Look how ridiculous he looks being dragged away. Sukiwano held the phone, her pupils contracting sharply. Plot twist. The Yandere's dark turn was not tied to revenge. It was tied to the protagonist's safety. Villain's dark turn meter. 90. I had successfully navigated through the entire plotline and had successfully made Sukiwano fall in love with me. Yet her dark turn meter kept hovering around 5, refusing to clear to 0. By coincidence, while buying groceries at the supermarket after class today, I ran into the thug who had insulted Sukiwano's mother all those years ago. So I followed him to a dilapidated house. Shortly after, I heard the sound of a woman crying and being beaten inside. I decisively called the police and snapped a photo of the thug being taken away by the cops. But after Sukiwano saw the photo, her dark turn meter suddenly spiked to 90, and then she just looked at me calmly. I suddenly remembered a saying, the sea is always far too calm right before a storm hits. I swallowed hard subconsciously. My words came out, stuttering. Do you know him? If you're looking for him, you will probably have to go to the police station. He did not look like a good person to me. He probably won't be getting out anytime soon. Where did you see him? Why did you go to a place like that? I was bored and just wandering around. Can you please not do things like this? Sukiwano stared at me for a long time and let out a sigh. The dark turn meter dropped back down as well, getting stuck right back at the borderline of 5. I had never hated a number so much in my entire life. But one thing was certain. Sukiwano's dark turn meter had absolutely nothing to do with the grudges of the past. Wash your hands and let us eat. Next time you're going to be home late, remember to tell me. No matter what happens, you must tell me first. After saying that, Sukiwano frowned. Is it bad for me to act like this? No. No, it is perfectly fine. I hastily denied it. She did not say anything further. She sat across the table, quietly lost in thought. It was only through observation that I realized Sukiwano had been zoning out a lot lately. Her mood also fluctuated wildly. The daily notifications regarding her affection level flashed in my mind almost 3 times a day, and that was considered a slow day. Thankfully, her affection level had never dropped below 50. I started rambling about some trivial things that happened at school. Sukiwano suddenly looked up and interjected, "Is the food good?" "Yeah, it is great." Sukiwano furrowed her brow. "Then why is not it shutting your mouth?" The atmosphere dropped to freezing point. I pondered for a moment. "Do you find me annoying?" "I do not like it when you praise other people. Not even a little bit." The possessive Yandere traits are fully manifesting now. Only eyes for him. She was suffering terribly from the fear of losing me. She rubbed the bridge of her nose. "I am full. I will clean up the dishes later. Let us go to school together this afternoon." I honestly did not know what I said wrong. I watched helplessly as Sukiwano left the table. I did not understand Sukiwano's thoughts. They were probably quite different from an ordinary person's. She walked me to the door of my classroom and finally met the classmate I had been mentioning frequently lately. That girl really was quite pretty. She smiled the moment she saw me. Sukiwano's lips curved into an enigmatic smile, and she let out a soft humph. I had praised that girl before, saying her fashion sense was nice, and that she seemed very aloof, without many friends, but was very enthusiastic towards me. I seemed entirely unaware that I was paying entirely too much attention to this classmate. Sukiwano looked the girl up and down, then planted a kiss on my cheek. "Go on, study hard." Everyone in the class knew that I had an incredibly beautiful girlfriend. Seeing her in person today proved the rumors were true. I am heading to class then. Wait a second. She suddenly thought of something. A moment later, she returned carrying a room-temperature bottle of green tea. "Here, this is for you." "I do not want to drink this." Green tea, the universal symbol for fake innocent girl. Sukiwano's passive aggressiveness is top-notch. "Then just look at it. Go to class. Your girlfriend looked at me so fiercely just now." "Xiao Shiramoya, is your girlfriend's temper not very good?" "No, not at all. We girls understand girls best. Have you two only been dating for a short time?" Listening to this speech, I nodded and handed the green tea over to her. "Here. My girlfriend bought this for you." As if sensing that I was thinking about her, Sukiwano stood by the window deep in thought. There were simply too many things about me she could not understand. She knew I would not harm her, because every single thing I did was done with such genuine sincerity, as if I wanted to rip my own heart out and show it to her. So what was my goal? What did I want to gain from her? Sukiwano still had not figured it out, and she did not want to figure it out either. This self-deception, even if it was foolish, still allowed her to cling to a glimmer of hope, such as hoping I would continue deceiving her like this for the rest of her life. What exactly was Sukiwano thinking? This question had been tormenting me for a very long time. Every time I saw Sukiwano, I desperately wanted to ask her, what was she still so unwilling to let go of? Sukiwano acting as my 24-hour companion every single day, just short of stuffing me into her pocket to keep me safe. If it were not for the mission, I felt that being with Sukiwano, living a peaceful, ordinary life like this forever, actually sounded pretty good. "It is almost Chinese New Year." Sukiwano interrupted my train of thought, suddenly tossing out this sentence. "We have known each other for almost a year." The time skip strikes again. The narrative pace is accelerating toward the climax. When Sukiwano said this, I instinctively went to nod in agreement, but suddenly froze, turning my head to look at Sukiwano in astonishment. "You remembered wrong, did not you? We have known each other for 2 years. Can we spend New Year's Eve together? Just the two of us. Just the two of us." When Sukiwano said this, she met my questioning gaze. Looking at my panicked eyes, I nodded haphazardly. "Okay. Originally, my dad wanted both of us to go home for the new year, but when I told him I wanted to spend it alone with Sukiwano, he remained silent for a long time. Forget it. You young people have your own lives to live. If you need anything, just let me know."
Thank you.
My dad paused, then sighed. "You are my son. What is there to say thank you for? It is what I should do." Regarding the school's winter break, I did not feel much involvement. "Are you moving all your stuff out of the school? Why are you not going to attend school next year?" My eyes dimmed. I was indeed thinking exactly that. For this month winter break, I would stay by Sukiwano's side the entire time. My goal was simple: get her dark turn meter down to 0 as quickly as possible. Did not. I moved out of the dorms a long time ago. I'm just taking this opportunity to move the rest of my things over. Sukiwano pressed her lips together, not saying a word. As time marched on, the atmosphere of the approaching new year grew increasingly intense. Sukiwano seemed to take this event very seriously, cleaning our apartment until it was absolutely spotless well in advance. "Have you been unhappy lately?" "No." "Yes, you have." I firmly ran to her side, leaning in to study her face. "Did I do something to upset you?" "No." Sukiwano put down the broom in her hands. The smile on her lips looked very pale.
I was just thinking that this year,
Mom won't be able to celebrate the new year with me. I'm just not quite used to it yet. The holiday angst hits hard. A perfectly reasonable explanation, but is it the whole truth? My body stiffened. I quickly composed my expression. I'm sorry. It is fine. Life and death are dictated by fate. But it does not matter. You have me now. If you are willing, I can accompany you for a very, very long time. Really? Sukiwano did not look particularly pleasantly surprised. Really? I'm not lying to you. You better not be. I noticed Sukiwano acting very strangely. I had noticed her choice of words early on, as well as her behavior, waiting eagerly for New Year's Eve. When I saw the things she brought out, I was genuinely stunned for a moment. The scene of her dancing last time was still vivid in my mind. Sukiwano unhurriedly opened the red wine. Have a glass. No, no, no. Sukiwano lowered her head and poured half a glass. It is fine. It is just the two of us here. I'm not afraid of getting drunk. You are quite cute when you're drunk. Sukiwano pushed the wine in front of me, coaxing. It is sweet. Seeing that I would not take it, she poured herself a glass. She tapped the rim of her glass against mine and downed it all in one gulp on her own. Thank you for coming into my life. My heart gave a jolt. Ah, the classic dramatic toast right before a major emotional confrontation. We loved to see it. Sukiwano grabbed the bottle and poured another glass. She drank fiercely and rapidly. I hurriedly covered the mouth of her glass with my hand. Stop drinking. You're going to feel terrible in a little while. If you want me to drink, I will drink, okay? I really do not want to drink. Are you afraid of saying the wrong things after drinking? My body stiffened. I am a bit of a drama queen. If I drink too much, I tend to make a scene. I do not want to lose face in front of the person I like.
liar.
I gritted my teeth, hesitating over and over. You can't drink anymore. My health is poor. Sukiwano suddenly jolted, seemingly recalling this fact. She hastily cleared the alcohol away. I'm sorry, I forgot. I knew she was definitely suspecting something. Looking back carefully at the things I had done, every single action seemed to be riddled with loopholes. I pondered to myself, I could not wait any longer. I had to take the initiative. Success or failure hinged on this own move. I spent half the night taking care of Sukiwano. She seemed to have drunk quite a bit. My scalp tingled under her intense gaze. Getting stared down by a yandere while she is drunk is a whole new level of terrifying. I reached out and waved a hand in front of her eyes. Stop fooling around. Sukiwano irritably swatted my hand away, sat in a daze for a long while, then beckoned me over. Come here. I'm going to ask you a few questions. You must answer me truthfully. I hesitated for a second and nodded. Sukiwano grabbed my wrist. Her eyes were bloodshot. Her actions seemed steady, but she looked incredibly gloomy. She raised her eyes, her expression faint. Do you really like me? I froze for a moment, then nodded. This tiny hesitation was glaringly obvious. In Sukiwano's eyes, do you have an ulterior motive for approaching me? Is not liking you reason enough? I kept a straight face, forcing myself to keep up the act. Sukiwano suddenly pulled me into a tight embrace. Do not lie to me. Her voice was very soft. The scent of alcohol and her burning breath dissipated by my ear, causing my face to gradually flush as red as fire. Anyone else can lie to me, but you can't. Why? I felt a subtle undercurrent of danger. Sukiwano softened her voice, carrying a hint of tenderness. Because my surname is only Lee. Sukiwano suddenly remembered something. Reaching into her pocket, I immediately wanted to jump away, terrified she was going to pull out some murder weapon and end my life with a single knife strike. Sukiwano's hand was trembling. My heart was shivering. I instinctively squeezed my eyes shut. Shao Cheramoya. Happy New Year. You look very nervous. Have a piece of candy. It will make you feel better. Sukiwano lowered her eyes. Can I kiss you? The tension is palpable, but knowing the protagonist, he will somehow ruin the mood. After saying this, her face drew closer and closer to mine. My heart pounded fiercely. Eyes wide open, I was at a complete loss for what to do. Just as our lips were a mere centimeter apart, she suddenly stopped, gazing at me quietly. Let us go to sleep. It is late. My throat felt parched. Pausing, she added, we will kiss next time. I have been drinking. After saying that, Sukiwano headed straight for the bathroom, leaving me looking utterly bewildered. The sound of New Year's firecrackers echoed from outside the window. Fireworks exploding in mid-air were exceptionally dazzling and bright. I stared out the window, lost in thought, a faint light flickering in my eyes. What I did not know was that after the bathroom door closed, Sukiwano stared at herself in the mirror, turned on the faucet, and cried, suppressing her sobs for a very, very long time. Tears tore from her eye sockets, venting all of her sorrow. By the time she came out, I was already leaning against the sofa, sleeping like the dead. My phone screen was still lit up, as if I had just finished a phone call with someone. Sukiwano fetched a blanket and wrapped it around me. She watched me for as long as I slept. When I finally woke up, I met Sukiwano's bloodshot eyes from staying up all night. Good morning, girlfriend. Villain's dark turn meter is at 0. I was instantly pulled into a tight hug by Sukiwano. Our chests pressed together. Hearing this prompt so abruptly, I suspected I was hallucinating. Villain's dark turn meter at 0. Villain's affection level at 80. Congratulations to the host for achieving the clearance record. Rewarding 1,000 points. Host, do you wish to detach from the mission now? My body trembled. System dropping the final boss clear message right after a domestic morning moment. Impeccable timing. I furrowed my brow. Sukiwano looked full of worry. What is wrong? Are you feeling unwell? No. I looked at Sukiwano with an expression of sheer disbelief. Sukiwano seemed to be just an inexplicable person like this. Did you have a nightmare? No. I reached out and hugged Sukiwano tightly, resting my head on her shoulder in a daze. Are you leaving? In my mind, I flipped to the exchange menu, to the very last item. I reached up and smoothed her hair. Kiwano. I rested my forehead against hers. Her eyes curved into bright, radiant crescents. Do you want to kiss me now? No. Sukiwano frowned. She blinked. Tilting her head, she repeated the question. Do you really not want to kiss me? Next time. I constantly mentally prepared myself. They were just characters in a parallel world. People who had no actual connection to me. It is still early. Sleep for a little while longer. I will go buy breakfast for you. Same as before. 3 steamed buns, a bowl of rice porridge with sugar, and buy 2 extra eggs. Okay. The moment Sukiwano stepped over the threshold, she felt a wave of panic, turning back abruptly to look at me sitting on the sofa. I was looking at her too.
I'm going now.
Be careful on the road. The moment the door clicked shut, I reached over and grabbed an unopened bottle of soda, numbly pulling the tab. I do not know who had shaken this soda, but the bubbles inside suddenly surged out, spilling all over my hand. The air was covered with a sweet and sour scent. Nothing screams impending tragedy like spilled soda and a sudden system extraction. Sukiwano really was not all that bad. Unknowingly, 2 lines of tears streamed down my face. If I leave a substitute behind, it will take good care of Sukiwano for me. Is not that right? There is still one month left. If you really can't bear to part, there is nothing I can't bear to part with. Provoked by the little assistant's words, I spoke up. Apply for detachment from the world. The moment the words fell, my consciousness instantly plunged into darkness, and agonizing, heart-wrenching pain erupted from my body. Host, just endure it for a bit. The wool comes from the sheep. I will extract and clone a copy of you from the depths of your soul. Damn it, you should have said so earlier. This means I am a host. Starting from today, your name is Xiao Cherimoya. You are kind, radiant, and emotional. You deeply love someone named Sukiwano. You are willing to sacrifice everything for her, including your life. I leave the rest to you. Love her well for me. Love this world well for me. Congratulations on your successful mission, host. For some reason, on this ordinary, bustling day full of everyday life, Sukiwano just felt freezing cold. While standing in line, her heart suddenly gave a sharp pang, and agonizing, tearing pain gradually spread through her entire body, chilling her limbs to the bone. Sukiwano rushed home at the fastest speed she had ever run in her life. The soda bottle had slipped from my hand, the orange beverage bubbled and flowed out onto the floor. Sukiwano was on the verge of suffocating. Imagine rushing home only to find your boyfriend unresponsive next to a puddle of orange soda. Pure cinematic trauma. Slowly approaching me, I was so tired. Sukiwano's hand trembled as she checked my breathing, faint yet genuinely present. I sat in front of a massive screen, staring at Sukiwano with a solemn expression. You lied to me, Xiao Cherimoya. What did I do wrong? Why do you have to leave me? Villain's dark turn meter at 1. On the screen, my body was still fast asleep. Sukiwano raised a knife. I'm giving you 5 minutes. If I do not see you, I will grant you your wish. 5 minutes is plenty. Time slipped away in the blink of an eye. Sukiwano's face was already bathed in tears. Her right hand holding the knife trembled as she raised it high, preparing to strike. My time of death had arrived. Was it really going to end just like this? Dad, come over tomorrow morning and we will eat tangyuan together. I had always considered myself smart. Every single action I took in the past had been carefully considered, but I did not know why this mission had failed so miserably. From the very first time I saw Sukiwano, I kept letting the heat of the moment drive me to do incredibly stupid things. Reason whispered in my left ear that I should stop, while blood roared in my right ear. Bursting through the dam, it felt as if I had been stripped of the ability to think deeply. Indeed, everyone in this world was very smart. I never imagined that claiming to foresee the future to save someone back then had long ago planted deep roots in my father's mind. So how could Sukiwano not know? She had been deceiving herself. The classic "I knew you were lying, but I let you because I love you" trope. Gets me every time, attempting to prove my love time and time again. But the more she probed, the further away I seemed to slip from her. So she kept lowering her expectations time after time. Even if my love for her had an ulterior motive, as long as I could stay by her side, she was willing to be deceived for a lifetime. That lingering 5% dark turn meter was her obsession with me. Even the final drop to 0 was a test. From every question Sukiwano asked, from every single probe, it was destined that she would guess the truth sooner or later. After so much time had passed, I also gradually noticed my own anomalies. Every single thing I did was riddled with flaws, so I hypothesized that when I finally detached from the world, a glaring loophole would definitely appear, and Sukiwano would notice. Thus, I made Olan final phone call to my dad. Facts proved that my gamble paid off. Honestly, the connection between people is truly bizarre. She rushed back home, saw me lying on the sofa, fast asleep, but she observed a specific detail. If I had fallen asleep naturally on my own, why was the beverage on the floor, tipped over and spilling out? Judging by how the liquid was still spreading across the floor, it was obvious it had only just been knocked over. Could it be a heart attack that caused me to faint? So, with a trembling hand, she checked my breathing. Faint, but genuinely present. She refused to believe it, but all the evidence pointed to that single conclusion. And Sukiwano, her face streaming with tears, trembling, raised the knife high in her right hand, just as she was about to strike. My dad arrived right outside the door, and my calling my dad was not for him to save me. How could Sukiwano ever bear to kill me? She just wanted to use this childish method to threaten me into coming back. The real purpose was to stop her from committing suicide. Weaponizing parental intervention to prevent a Yandere double suicide. Big brain move. My dad observed me inside the room. Why is not he waking up? Sukiwano retreated into the bedroom, sobbing quietly. So your goal was to make me a good person and to ensure my safety, right? Saying this, she pointed the sharp knife at her own chest. I was startled, staring at the large screen in sheer panic. No system. Why has not the substitute swap finished yet? The system remains silent, ignoring me entirely. Say something. Tell the substitute to go save her. What is the meaning of this? Xiao Shiramoya, do you still remember why you want to go home? As the words dropped, my pupils contracted slightly. My consciousness instantly plummeted into profound confusion. Why? Why did I want to go home? Within the space, my longing to return home vanished without a trace. A deep sense of powerlessness crept into my heart, like a heavy hammer striking the back of my head. I dropped to my knees. After a long silence, I spoke, cold sweat pouring down. Did not you say that becoming a mission executor means your real-world memories are wiped? You are the Owen who has been constantly influencing my thoughts all along. Are not you? What is your goal? Could it be that there are no so-called real-world memories at all? Is it possible that your past, your family, your friends, your Sukiwano, your world, and even you as an individual are all fake? Yes, I am a liar. This mission has been a scam from start to finish. Yes, you are indeed very smart. That is why I kept taking away own specific sentence from you. You cannot doubt me. You are my creation. You are nothing more than a string of data that gained consciousness. Sukiwano, your dad, the whole world, all of it is me, the ultimate plot twist. The system is the actual mastermind playing 4D chess with human emotions. I have always looked down on you. You are lowly and cowardly. You act impulsively and think you're always right. Look how good Sukiwano is to you. She is even willing to risk her life just to get you to come back. Why won't you just open your eyes and see? You are just a coward who does not dare to face your true feelings. The voice echoed through the system's space. I could not calm down for a very long time, curled up in a corner, crying. A suffocating silence. That speech had utterly shattered my psychological defenses, turning my worldview upside down. Everything I possessed, everything I yearned for, was fake. An aura of despair spread through the room. So what was the meaning of my existence? Was it just to be utilized by the system? I had lost completely. Lost my entire life. After a long silence, the voice sounded again. Xiao Cheramoya, it is all fake. There is no so-called real world. Go back. My goal has been achieved. Your goal was that substitute. Then why did not you just extract the substitute from the very beginning, making a fool out of me, and now throwing me back? Is this fun to you? If it is fake, what is the point? The love and hatred of a string of cold data. What is the point? I squatted in the corner, feeling like I wanted to sit there crying for the rest of my life. Far away from that pathetic world. The world is fake, but the love is real. Existential crisis resolved by the power of love. The sci-fi romance crossover we did not know we needed. I froze in place, as if something deep within my heart had been touched. Those past memories kept surfacing in my mind. In a daze, I seemed to see Sukiwano's silhouette. Neat, shoulder-length hair, eyes curved into a smile, just like at the beginning of the story, smiling at me. The system was right. I was a coward. Once again, I shed disappointing tears, so I tried hard to keep them inside my eyes, making my eye sockets burn with strain. It was right. Even though all of this was fake and meaningless, I had genuinely felt love. Felt the 101 heartbeat when blushing with youthful innocence, felt the happiness of a hot bowl of noodles in winter, felt the leisurely comfort of an evening stroll in the breeze, felt the ripples spreading in my heart day by day, night by night. Most things in the world are useless, but love was never meant to follow logic in the first place. After all, we were born for love. If the love is real, then the world is real. Go back. Someone is waiting for you there. Tears poured down my face. I ran toward the large screen like a madman. The moment I passed through the screen, the familiar pain struck once again. It felt as if something else was being ripped out of my body. I charged forward recklessly. A burst of white light filled my vision. Sukiwano had raised the sharp knife high. The moment she steeled her resolve to stab herself, a hand firmly grasped her wrist. Right at the climax, the hero crashes through dimensions just in time to stop the knife. I am back, she sobbed silently, then broke into loud wailing, releasing all the grievances she had harbored for so long. I looked down and saw her offering a bowl of rice porridge and eggs. Eat breakfast. I only bought porridge and eggs, did not have time to buy buns. Oh, right. Do you want me to heat this porridge up? Seeing these things, I could not hold it back anymore, hugging her and bawling loudly. Sukiwano, I love you. I do not care if my memories are real or not. I do not care if this world is fake or not. I was never supposed to exist in the first place, and I have never truly possessed anything. I only have you. We will definitely be together.
Definitely,